And we are live.
That's right. You heard it from the man himself, everybody. You have tuned in, dialed in, adjusted your YouTube channel to the greatest show on Thursday nights. The two-man tag team of PM and the PM, Pong and Mav and the PM, back for another episode of nothing but video game goodness around these parts. And man, oh man, got some stuff to talk about this week because Sony put on a little show. Not a showcase, of course not. We're not going to get showcases anymore from Sony. We're just going to get state of plays from here on out. But lots of good games in there, and about 20 of them multi-plat, of course, as is the common theme these days on all of the shows except for Nintendo shows. So we got lots of cool stuff to look forward to. In fact, we got a shadow drop last night that I think both, that Mav and I will talk about, but I definitely will talk about. But thank you all for joining us Thursday night. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Love you all for showing up and saying hi to us. So whether you're here for 5 minutes or whether you're here for the full time, again, love seeing your faces drop in here. And if you're just lurking and I don't get to you, or if you're watching this in the future, welcome aboard, everybody, to the speculation hype train. That's right, everybody, because we're starting off in a nice mock 2.0 tonight. So buckle in, get ready. Let me introduce the co-host of this show, the man gracious enough and dangerous enough to give me the lead chair on Thursday nights, the owner of the Fun Speculation Network, at least half of it, or 49% of it, because I do believe that Caitlin has 51% according to the contract, the one and only Fun Speculation, a.k.a. Mav. What is going on, brother? How the hell are you, sir?
What's going on, man? Yeah, been doing good. Been playing games, lots of different games, as usual. My grazing ass, just playing whatever I feel like at the time. I've been weirdly into racing games again for some reason. I don't know why. I think TXR got me into it. I finished the early access content. And when I finished the early access content, I was still hungry. So I've been playing Forza Motorsport, a little bit of Horizon. I've been in sport mode as well. So been playing quite a bit of Madden. Been playing some NBA 2K. Try and solve my eternal struggles watching the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Then also see Luka traded away from the Mavericks and the fans getting kicked out for voicing their displeasure. So I've been trying to.
Mark Cuban said, "Shut the fuck up, man."
I saw that. So
God, that dude has gone downhill so fast and so far. Oh man, I can't believe I was ever a fan of his. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been crazy around here. So I've been trying to solve my internal sports woes by playing some sports games, which has been fun. And yeah, man, it's Balatro's been a thing again. Getting up all the difficulty ranks on the decks, and Balatro's been a challenge, but it's been fun as hell.
Nice.
Yeah, gaming is good, man. I still got FOMO for a lot of this stuff, but it's about to be solved because I'll have access to a brand new game in a few days. I'm jealous of those that have already gotten to play it. I also want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but my fighting off FOMO with that one has won out for the time being. But then they shadow dropped another game last night that I want to get. So I'm gonna pull the trigger on that at some point, but we'll see, man.
$25, bro.
Yeah, it's only $25.
$25.
Oh, but yeah, dude, it's been relishing all these games, work stuff, life stuff, normal things. But how you been?
I've been good, brother. I've been good. I'm no longer sick again, so we're back on the health streak. So I gotta love that, and feeling good overall. Real life still continues to be just a roller coaster, which we're just going to continue to strap in and ride out. So, but have been playing some video games. I did get. Oh man, where to start, man? Did get some Monster Hunter Wilds beta in last weekend. Before it did close down, I actually did get in. Created my character. Got a nice, good-looking waifu huntress for that. So did a nice job. Again, Capcom has really good character creators, of course. We just saw that in Dragon's Dogma 2. which was simply fantastic. But this one is very well done. Also, they don't use the same one, so it is a little bit different. But wound up creating a very, very nice character that I'm happy with. That's going to carry over. Actually got into doing some monster hunting. Did some solo monster hunting. Tried to go up against one of the 4 stars before the end of the beta and got slaughtered. Was not ready. I knew I wasn't going to be ready for that, but I did kick some monster ass. I did take down some of the middling bosses, took down the first boss, took down a couple of those bear-looking groups of monsters. I forget their names, and then I took down one of the big pterodactyl looking monsters as well. So loving how it plays. I was trying out all the different weapons, so I'm not set in. Sly Crow is in the chat right now. However, Sly Crow was pushing me because everybody needs a tank and nobody wants to run tank, which is your lance. And he kept pushing me during Living Split Screen in the chat, telling Steel that they should get me to run lance. And I'm not the tank dude. I'm not. I don't like playing tanks, but Steel kind of talked me out of the dual swords, dual weapons, because of the need to constantly be dodging and pulling off perfect dodges in Monster Hunter Wilds, etc. So I was like, oh shit, maybe that's not going to be for me. So I was trying out all the weapons. And you know what? Lance actually feels like one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I was playing with it for a while and it kind of fit my style. And I was like, maybe I wind up being a fucking tank in Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay, maybe I do this. So shout out to Sly Crow. I told you I was going to try it, brother, for sure in the beta. There's a second round of beta coming up, so I might try it again. But yeah, I was having a great time on Monster Hunter Wilds. It's going to be one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest game of the year. Obviously, Grand Theft Auto 6 could blow everything out of the water. If Grand Theft Auto 6 doesn't drop, Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be up there as one of the best sellers. The way that world has sold. Capcom just announced this week that they sold another 1 million copies in the past quarter or 2 quarters or something like that, since kind of Wild's hype started catching up here. Ridiculous, because that game's already sold 30 million copies. So Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be a big game. It plays extremely, extremely fluid. Of course, I was on the PC. I was running 120 frames. I was using FSR. Still look gorgeous. Kept a lot of the resolution. Was it the crispest of all time? Nah. But again, when you're fighting the way you fight Monster Hunter, it's like, okay, I'm not stopping to look at the scales on the monster, okay? I'm too busy getting out of the way. So just really well done so far. Showing up polished. So I can't wait to get the full release on that, because I am jumping into that day one for sure. Did play some more Tokyo Extreme Racer as well, Mav. So I am still rocking on that. I played for another hour or 2 on that. Still having a great time. Loving every minute of it. I don't have any complaints. Can't wait to see what they expand on. More cars, more upgrades, more track, more bosses, whatever they're going to do. I'm all for this. I hope it comes to console, and I hope the console players get to try it out, because, again, the nostalgia kick does not end with that at all. Been rocking, actually, this week. Again, I told you guys last week, I downloaded it because of the free update. Far Cry New Dawn. Out of all the shit I got to play, this is my life, though. This is my life story, playing video games. The most random weird shit pops into my cycle, and I just absolutely have a great time. It's just fast food. I bitched a ton about Ubisoft. We all have. Talked about how shitty they've treated all their franchises, but their franchises are just fast food. And I jump into New Dawn, and it's like riding a bike. It looks fucking fantastic now with the resolution bump, and obviously the 60 frames. It feels great, and it's not the best of the Far Cry bunch, but it's just good old times. I just hop in, run around, kill a bunch of shit, hunt down some fucking animals, blow up some shit, and I'm done. And I go to bed. It's beautiful. Like, it's just one of those games, man. So having a great time. I got to post some screenshots. I have taken some screenshots on that, because actually the game does look beautiful. They do have a photo mode. It's a limited photo mode. But honestly, some of the stuff, some of the scenery, especially with the setting and the rising of the sun, and some of the, and actually in some of the darker areas too, when you're exploring, there's some really good stuff in there. There's some really good lighting for how old that game is that really shines through. And then you throw on a couple filters and it just looks super dope. So I'll be posting some screenshots of that. as well. What else, Mav? I guess I'll just jump right into it because yesterday during the state of play, we got a shadow drop game, and it actually came to everything, which was dope. And of course, I'm talking about Koei Tecmo coming out of nowhere with Omega Force, who are the makers of Dynasty Warriors, etc. All my Musu love, right? I love Musu fighters. Mav loves Musu fighters as well. Again, talk about fast food. Um, they just drop a rogue-like isometric view Dynasty Warriors on us yesterday. Shadow dropped out of the fucking blue, like, hey, it's going to be ready for you to go play right after the show. I was sitting at work, like I made my post yesterday about it. I was lurking in Mav's chat, listening to the show, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, 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 Koei Tecmo, Omega Force, what we got a new Dynasty? What? We just got one. What's going on? And then I saw it, and then they were like, right away, they were like roguelike experience. I'm like, what? Pardon me? Okay. So I got home last night from work pretty late, about 7 o'clock or a little after 7 o'clock. And sure enough, fired up the Xbox store there. It's sitting there for the regular edition. Now they got 2 other editions where you can get some costume sets, which they always sell for ridiculous amounts. That's the one thing about Koei Tecmo and Dynasty Warriors I hate. Samurai Warriors. Their costume sets are ridiculously overpriced. Okay, I can't stand it. But the regular just version, which is fine for me, $25. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying the Avowed early access, right? I told you guys that. So I'm waiting it out like Mav is, which is getting tougher by the minute because I am seeing some beautiful screenshots. I saw everybody's reviews today. It's looking great. We're going to talk about it. It's getting harder, but pause. but I told myself last night, well, shit, you're getting over your FOMO for that, for Avowed. You're not going to pick it up early. You wait until next week. You got to pick this up for $25, man. You got to support this. This is freaking dope as fuck. It looked awesome. I was like, okay. So I just picked it up off the Xbox store and I played, I don't know, 6, maybe 5, 6 runs last night. I still haven't beat the first boss. Each run is set up over 8 different levels. There's goals for each one. They have obviously in between, just like roguelites, they have specials. You get to choose which next level you go to, and they give you a glimpse of what you can earn from that level. Sometimes they're bonuses, sometimes the levels are harder, sometimes there's a additional mission that shows up in the middle of your run that you have to complete in a certain amount of time to get bonus. There's materials you can collect and then go to a shop if you get the shop lucky enough, and you can go buy upgrades there. You level up, you get to pick one of the upgrades, like Vampire Survivor style, right? Where but they tell you exactly how it's going to power you up. You can see your power difference. If you guys play Dynasty Warriors or any of the Musu fighters, you know what the power system looks like. So as you upgrade your weapons, as your character, etc., they've got unique weapons for every single character. Oh yeah, your roster is freaking gigantic, and it just keeps blowing up even more as you open up more of those areas because you're earning, their kind of coin, which you can then buy into this huge grid system with all these new characters, right? Or upgrades, etc. And it's a whole grid system. Oh, you got partnerships, you got relationships that actually give you bonuses, right? Oh, by the way, when you go on your next run, some of the characters are going to be randomly chosen to also be bonused. So if you pick one of those characters to make that run, you might earn some more coins, some additional stuff in the game as well. Yeah, it's fucking fun as hell, and it ain't easy. It is Dynasty Warriors through and through. You get to add additional characters to your group, up to 6 additional characters. You can't swap between them, but what you actually do is they become a part of your combo system for your main character. So as you combo, X, and Y are the only 2 buttons. Very straightforward. Obviously, they still have like your Musu attack, which is B. They've also got your super power up team attack, which is right trigger that you power up as you actually battle. But as you gain these characters, Mav, you join the team. You have up to 6 of them. They've got different formations, which can additionally boost stats depending on what type of formation you use. And there's, I don't know, like 30 different formations that you could eventually open up. You actually use them. So you can hit like X, X and then you hit Y and you hold it down, well, that calls in one of them. That's like your third character in, so that calls down one of them. And then they have cooldowns, but you've got the opportunity to use like 6 of them, and they all come in and do a special ability at the end of your attack. Bro, this is not like some simple run-of-the-mill roguelike. Like, they thought of everything. This is a full-fledged, awesome release. Indie style, of course, because it is a smaller game, but indie style from Koei Tecmo, from Omega Force, trying something new with the Dynasty Warriors, and it fucking works. I'm having a blast. Characters look great. Animation looks great. Again, could the resolution be a little bit tighter on the Xbox Series X? Yeah, I was expecting a little bit. It looks a little blurry to me on screen, but maybe we'll get an update or whatever else. But it's not bad. But it's just fun as hell. So that's Warriors Abyss. So if you guys are looking for a game kind of in between everything else, a nice, easy, again, it's one of those roguelikes, right? So you can make as many runs as you want to. Some of the runs will be 5 minutes. Some of the runs might last 30 minutes. But you're just making runs, and you do feel more powerful at the end of each run. I get a little bit further. I got the boss down a little bit more. I was actually got him down to almost quarter health on his final bar in one of my last runs. But again, a lot of it's going to be luck. A lot of it is going to be choice as you're running through, whether or not you get the right setup to take them on at the end. Perfectly. Again, that's what those games are about. That's the loop. That's the addiction. Oh, just one more time. I think I got it now. I just one more time. It's all there, man.
It seemed like when I saw that game shown there, I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Like I was just thinking like, what a cool idea, to have this little offshoot for that game, because it would fit well into that genre, right? I think of like a lot of Hades or Vampire Survivors, or a lot of these are just random games, but like Dynasty Warriors is always known for the massive amount of enemies on the screen, clearing them out. So it just kind of seemed like it's an interesting fit for it, and I like those top down kind of isometric style games like that. So it seemed like a nice chill game to play that's good, that could get addicting and stuff. So at some point here I'll pull the trigger on it for sure. I was curious though, like when I was looking at the store on it, there's like 3 versions.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
The top one is $79.99. I'm like, what is like that's
bullshit.
Pretty
Like,
I was like, what is that?
Okay, listen,
that game?
I looked at, again, it's costumes, and then they give you some of the coins. They give you 5,000 coins, right? Okay, listen, it's kind of bullshit, because I was like, okay, well, maybe the coins are kind of tough to get. 5,000 coins, because you use the 5,000 coins to open up other characters, right? And to power up and that kind of stuff in that grid system I was telling you about, right? It's a huge grid system. But you earn those coins almost every run. Like my lowest run last night, I earned like 500 of those coins. But a couple of those runs, I earned over 2,000. I spent over 5,000 last night without buying that package.
Right.
So it's not that tough. So it's kind of bullshit. It's more the costumes that they give you. Again, they overcharge. They always have overcharged for their costume packs. I hate that. It's like Dead or Alive, right?
Yeah.
It's like Bandai Namco. They overcharge for their costume packs like crazy, bro. Like, it's like,
does
come
it
on, man.
download, install each one separately like Dead or Alive does on the Xbox?
No, it
like,
does
do
not.
you hear
It's
like a notification
packages
for every fucking one?
They're packages, because even the base level comes with one set, right? And you also do, for a limited time, if you buy this game and you guys are planning on playing Dynasty Warrior Origins, or you already own it, supposedly you get a costume or something like skins for Dynasty Warrior Origins if you buy this game. That's a pre-order or a bonus to the buy for a short period of time. I can't remember how long they said, but yeah, no, man, you should definitely get it. It's fluid as hell. The combat is fun. It's all Dynasty Warriors. You do have to dodge. So they do teach you that, especially on the boss. The boss will definitely give you got to learn. Dodging is in there for sure. It's not all just hack and slash like most of the Dynasty Warriors are. There is some skill to this one. But just a great game, bro. Just a great game to have shadow dropped. So yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I've been playing, and getting ready for Avowed. And I saw, who was it?
Are you doing early? Did you do early access, or you was
No, like I said, I'm not. That's why I was okay with
yeah.
buying this. As I told you last week, I wasn't going to do it. Somebody said that I do have FOMO. I don't get FOMO. Like, I've killed it off. Who said it in here? Somebody told me that I have FOMO. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Masshole. I don't have FOMO anymore. That's why I don't buy every game. I mean, again, I can't because I'm budgeted. But even budgeted, again, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a day one buy for me during any normal fucking year. And Avowed being my most anticipated for the second half of last year. You guys know how much I love Obsidian. That is a day one buy for me normally with early access. But like I told you guys last week, like I looked at it because they don't have any DLC included. I buy those premium upgrades for early access, not just for the early access. It is for the bonuses that are involved. And the skins didn't interest me. I don't care about the art book or the soundtrack for Avowed. It just didn't
the
offer me
soundtrack's on
enough.
Spotify for free, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it is. And it didn't offer me enough. Now, like I did say, to Masshole's point, like this is one of the few games though in Avowed, like Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've seen a lot of it, and I still haven't had FOMO. Like I haven't to a degree where I'm like, oh, I really wish I was playing that right now, or really wish I could see this world that they've created. But outside of that, I don't. It doesn't bother me that I don't have it. Avowed has a tinge of FOMO to it just because of how long I've been waiting on this game, how much I love Obsidian. Just like with Starfield. Starfield's a game that obviously, no matter what, I was going to have FOMO for. I was never going to hold off. So there is a little bit of that to Avowed. But I've held strong. And like I said, Warriors Abyss dropping yesterday and me justifying going, I didn't buy early access to Avowed, so I've got that extra $25. Let's put that over here towards Warriors Abyss. And Warriors Abyss will hold me over along with the other shit that I'm playing until Avowed next week. I'm cool. And I kind of justified it that way. I was like, all right, we're good. So
yeah.
good time though, man. Good time. Again, it was just a surprise. We're going to talk about the state of play and whether or not it was good enough. Because I heard your comments, obviously, on it yesterday, and I thought you had some interesting comments. And we're going to talk about it. So we're going to get into that. But Warriors Abyss out of the blue, can't complain, man. Love this shit.
Yeah.
Love this shit. It's right up my alley. So can't wait to hear you when you jump into it finally. Oh man. Let's get the chat shouted out here, and then we'll get down to freaking business. Hey, Poison Maniac, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you so much for coming on through. We got free time gaming in here. It says playing Cyberpunk on my PS5 because that state of play was a state of everywhere. I want to play that Dynasty Warrior game though. Gonna jump on my Xbox after this mission. Hey, shout out to you, free time gaming. Bro, when I get back into Cyberpunk and Starfield, there's gonna be massive problems time-wise, bro. But that's gonna happen because I got to play Phantom Liberty. If you don't know, free time gaming, my first run through Cyberpunk starting day one, no patches all the way through, was a lover of that game. 300 hours, one playthrough. So number 2 is going to be with the DLC. It's going to be a blast, man. But shout out to you for playing games and listening to us. Appreciate you being here. We got the Antonio man in the house. What's going on, Antonio? Says the upgrade isn't worth it, to be honest, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I felt. That's what I felt. Because again, that's why I always hate when people say, oh, you're just buying early access. They're just charging you for early access. I'm like, who's just buying this shit I'm sure there's some people who just have disposable income that want to play it early. Sure, that's still their choice. But every time I've bought into the premium, it's come with other stuff like a battle pass or DLC that I was going to buy anyway. So I was like, it's a no-brainer. Like, why would I pick it up now and play early? Like, I'm gonna buy that shit anyways.
Right. Saves you money down the line, or
yeah, it does.
I like just knowing you already have it. Right.
Right. Exactly. It's just locked in. Again, why wouldn't I do that? And then get early access on top of it. Early access is just cherry on top. Hashim Graham, what's going on? He says, Avowed looks so fun. Can't wait to play the game. Yeah. Again, right where I thought it was going to be. We didn't do predictions. We should have done predictions, Mav. My guess was going to be at 81. And legit. Like, that's where I saw it. It's right there.
I think we talked about it maybe on FSP.
Okay, you guys might have.
A couple weeks back, or it might have been on the Ultimate that you weren't there when you were sick.
Okay, yeah, probably.
And yeah, I was way off.
What'd you say?
I said 92.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, I said this was gonna be the one, that like breaks through that for the critics, because a lot of people were really positive. Now
a lot of positivity.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not saying there's not today.
Yeah,
but it just seemed like, I think Obsidian is just such a special studio, and like I thought the polish was gonna be there, and all of the trademark great Obsidian was still gonna be there, as well as extra polish and time that they got to spend on the game. So I felt like everything was gonna come together to give them like a huge win as far as critic rating. Now I will say it seems to be resonating with fans already for sure, and it's I think it's number one on Steam right now. Um,
Yeah. There's a
so
ton of people watching it today too, being
yeah,
streamed as well. It was
big
number
release.
one. Yeah, man. Again, we're gonna talk about it because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to get into because there has been a mixed review. But yeah, I can't wait till next week. I mean, again, what I'm seeing, what I've heard so far, it sounds like I'm going to definitely think that this is a great Obsidian game for me personally. So again, we'll find out. But
Yeah,
everything that I'm now reading and listening to and seeing in videos says that I'm probably going to be on the side that loves this game. So I can't wait to jump in next
yeah,
week. But
I
we'll talk
will
about it
too
here
for sure.
for
That
sure.
man, do
Yeah,
you
go
see
ahead.
some of the clips of the combat?
Yes, it looks
Oh,
great.
dude, yeah.
It looks
Like,
great.
no, I didn't see any of that kind of combat in any of the previews
Mm.
or any of the like
Colt showed it
trailers.
off well. Colt showed it off well when he did his preview because
Okay,
he was talking about the difference in the combat from what was first shown and how much polish was up. You know
yeah.
how it looked like they had polished a ton. That's
Yeah, I'm
that's kind of
seeing
what
some of
I
these
saw, but it looks
clips
great.
of like these guys like playing, and these guys like there's stuff going on all over the damn place,
Mm.
right? Looks awesome, man.
The magic casting looks dope as fuck.
Yeah,
Looks like there's some really cool combos that you can pull off if you're going to use different combinations. So yeah,
I'm
um,
definitely going that route just so I can see all the effects
right,
from it.
right.
You know,
Yep, absolutely. Fuzzy Tomato, what's going on? Fuzzy, great to see you. Fuzzy says, I don't think it's hard to be number one on Steam. We got to stop using that as meaningful measurement of success. Not every game shows up as number one, though, Fuzzy. Again, I don't think Mav was suggesting that this is going to be like a top selling game of the year. It's
yeah,
just good out the gate.
yeah. That's
It's just good
I
out the
mean,
gate
they're
for any
celebrating that
game.
fact themselves. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Number one on Steam, right? Again, it's available on PC Game Pass, right? It's available on console Game
just
Pass, right?
just
So
being number one of the top sellers on Steam is
yep,
good promotion for your game.
it is. It's
And
fantastic.
any time
Yeah,
because people look at
yeah,
that stuff and they say, "Oh, this is really popular. Oh, what do people think about it?" And
yeah.
this is
No,
kind of how
absolutely.
it
It doesn't
goes.
mean it's gonna sit there. It doesn't mean it's gonna
Yeah,
be the
it's
next Harry Potter. None of
doesn't
that
mean it's gonna
shit. It
sell
just means
25 million copies this
we've
year.
seen
Yeah,
games come out not be in the top 20 on Steam on day one, right? We've seen tons of those games
hmm
flop, right? So it's just good to see it up there. That's all. Nothing wrong with being a little positive, Fuzzy. Again, especially when the
it
team's
doesn't mean
excited.
anything though, Pong. It's I mean, why are we even mentioning
Basically,
it?
every big release goes number one on Steam. Bullshit, Fuzzy.
No,
Bullshit. Bullshit. There's too many. There's too many releases,
that doesn't
big
happen.
releases now. It doesn't happen. Not every game goes number one. But anyways, Fuzzy, we're not again claiming that it's going to be some crazy ass selling fucking game of the year. Okay, we're not claiming that. Nathan Hardman's in the house. Says it's Friday afternoon. Happy days. Yo, you're way ahead in the future, Nathan Hardman. I'm jealous that it's already Friday afternoon for you. I hope Friday's going well, and I hope the start to your weekend's even better. Nate Dog, he says the wand feels really good. So does the book. Enemies are super bullet spongy, though. Yep. Yep. And I saw that from the beginning. I knew that was going to be the case. Bullet sponges don't bother me in fucking at all. Okay. I played, 500 hours of Division plus? Don't care. Bullet sponges. That's all they fucking are. I don't mind bullet spongy enemies. It just doesn't bother me, but I have heard that, Nate, and if it's something that bothers you, I knew that was going to be one of the things that people did pick on this game for being, but that's cool with me. What's going on now? I'm always great to see you. Cyber Gunter says I am. Let's go Avowed. Let's go, Cyber. Shane G says, welcome, Shane G, by the way. It says 3 hours into Avowed, so good. Yeah, you guys see now you guys are killing me because you're all talking about this. Here comes Brother Psychonauts. Here he comes, Brother Psychonauts. Thanks for joining us. You post screenshots in the DMs already. It's so good. I'm dual wielding with a spell book and a sword. Yeah, you're being one of those crazy mofos, right? That don't make any sense in a fantasy world, right? This is the weird part, and it's funny. Like I think it's fine that games offer these options to make combinations. But I am also a purist at heart that comes back from the pen and paper days, the tabletop, the original D&D, right? AD&D, and second edition. So I go back to where if you were going to be a magic user, you can't wield fucking weapons. All right, bro? Because your entire life is dedicated to studying and learning how to be a magic user, right? A wizard. Just like in order to use a sword properly, you have to dedicate your entire life to becoming a warrior. There is no way anybody learns how to wield both at the same damn fucking time. All right. I know later on, of course, they introduced, split classes, right? Subclasses where you could potentially do something like that. But I'm kind of a purist at heart when I play these games. I don't like wielding swords and magic at the same damn time. It just looks weird to me. But Psychonauts, it looks damn cool when you're doing it, brother. And I'm glad you're loving it. That's all that matters. That's why they give you choices. So everybody can have a good time. Have fun. Who's else we got in here? We got Mac22TH54. Dirt called it. He said 82 or lower. Yep. And that's right where I was, man. That's right where I was. That's kind of where I thought this was going. I thought it had the potential to be mid 80s, but more than likely, I knew it was probably going to be one of these low 80 games. There's some weird reviews out here, Mav. Again, there's some oddness.
Yeah, it's going to be it's just part of the new world we live in.
I have a hard time reading through a review that nonstop points out how much they enjoyed so many different parts of the game. And then they have like a couple parts where they give some of the criticism and it's a 7.
Yeah.
What?
I don't understand the other thing I see constantly in reviews too. It's like, it's not revolutionary or evolution. Okay, like that.
Thank you. That's also where the 7s come in too.
Yeah, I
don't.
Starfield. It's like,
fuck you.
Yeah, you could say that about so many genres and so many games out there. Like it's like
Mario hand-downs proves that point fucking completely wrong.
Right. I don't ever understand that. It's like, what are you wanting every game to change gaming and like be something you've never experienced before with gameplay mechanics or whatever. I mean, there's been so many damn games and so many things come out and it's like when they said, "Hey, we don't want Far Cry to do open world shooters anymore. We want Far Cry to be something else." And I'm like,
right.
Well, okay, I can understand you saying you don't want other games to keep copying that formula.
Sure.
Because the formula became tired, but Far Cry is the game that invented that formula.
Mm-hmm.
So if any game is to maintain the formula, it's the originator of the formula. That's like saying that, hey, you don't want Metroid games to be Metroid style. Or, like if you don't want a Halo game to be a shooter. Like I don't, you know what I mean? It's like I don't understand some of the logic with some of those thinkings with people and some of these things.
Because it evaporates, man, because it's hypocritical, because then you can read the same reviewer or the same publication review another game that, again, the one that absolutely, for me, the example I always throw out that just shoots it down is Mario games. Every time nothing fucking changes except for what, especially the 2D Marios.
You can be an elephant.
Besides the what he could turn into,
right?
Which we've been doing since Super Mario 3. Okay, listen, but they praise the shit out of it and say it's revolutionary, it's fucking fantastic, 9s and 10s across the fucking board. Hey, okay, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like I'd just rather them just focus on what the story is,
right,
how good
what does the game do,
like what it's trying to be, how well does it do,
right.
Does it
and this is an
change?
Obsidian game.
Exactly.
They're out here trying to say that this doesn't do anything new or revolutionary to the RPG genre. Well, Obsidian's one of the ones who crafted the Western RPG genre, for God's sakes, especially the more intimate, less open world, semi-open world style of Outer World. Like, they crafted that whole setup. Sure, they took inspiration from a lot of different places, including Bethesda with the relationships but they did it on their own, and Obsidian kind of makes their own style of game now within the Western RPG, and yet they can't even get credit for that. They just don't do nothing right.
I think it comes to the point of when it's like, and I even see people make these tweets and stuff, and it's like to make sure you have something to contribute to criticism, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to list all these amazing things I love about it, but I'm worried about this, right? And you could like name 20 things that you love, right? But everybody's only going to focus on the one thing that you say you're worried about, because you end up spending 2 sentences on it, right? Whereas then everything else is amazing, but I am concerned about this. And it's like, what is the point of that last additive that you add there? Because it sounds like you had a fucking amazing time. right? And it's like the only reason that exists is for the sake of being critical, right? For the sake that people can see that you can have a critical thought about this thing that you're loving, right? And I think that goes into reviews as well, where people are like, okay, so this was a fucking amazing, this was great, I love everything, but let me actually analyze how this fits into the gaming space and changes gaming and everything, and make sure I critique things based on that instead of just taking the game for what it is. And I think that's kind of a problem where certain games get that kind of focus, but most games don't, right?
Yeah.
Some games have the same formula that they've always had, or or doing the same things that they've always done, and like, hey, it's another one, fuck yeah, and hey, kudos to them. I had nothing wrong with that. But then sometimes you have one that's like, hey, this is our first fantasy RPG that takes from a lot of the ideas that have been staples of this genre for generations. And since we were one of the forefathers of it to begin with, especially dating back to um, our origins at Interplay, right? If you really want to go back,
Hmm.
and um, yeah, we're doing the next big thing of a true to life Western pure ass RPG, a dumb and classic Obsidian way. Now it's like, eh, I've seen that
Eh,
before.
eh,
I've seen that before. It was
eh.
great, but what does it do different? And it's kind of like, come on, are
So I
we?
saw another one, Map. I'm not worried about Outer Worlds 2 yet. Are we? Are we? What?
It's like
Again,
only I'm just saying this, only Xbox first party games get this focus.
yeah,
It
it's
is
gotten
it's a thing.
better. It's gotten better, but yes, it absolutely still is true, right? I think the more third party they go, the better they get. This has always been my hypothesis that we're going to see the less threat they are to everybody's favorite PlayStation. The more third party they are, the better these games are going to review. But there's still some of that here where they just get a much greater microscope on everything they do when it comes to their games than PlayStation does and that
Yeah.
Nintendo does, obviously. It's just different. It's just a different set of rules is really what it comes down to. Like they're expected to do something completely different. The other two are considered again the classics, the old school granddaddies of video games, beloved by everybody, and so therefore they get so many passes compared to
Yeah.
Xbox, right? And whatever,
You could look at
whatever.
it, okay, so for
That's what it is.
example, like Baldur's Gate 3, right? I'm
Yeah.
glad that it was applauded and lauded, right? Like,
Yep. Yes.
because, putting a big budget, taking the time to craft this amazing game, but like, okay, if you want to take the same kind of conversation, does it change things? For like, no, it's did the same kind of stuff that they did Divinity Original Sin, Divinity Original Sin 2, Pillars of Eternity 2, Neverwinter Nights, the old school Baldur's Gates. It's the same basic kind of
Yeah.
formula that's always been there. They just present
Yep.
it really well, and that for me that would be kind of seemingly like what Avowed is to the Western RPG genre.
Correct.
It's not
Yep.
necessarily as grand of a scale as something like Baldur's Gate, but I that's okay,
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah, I mean it's interesting the conversations. I think the game is overall reviewed really well though, and
Yeah.
it seems like it's resonating with
For
people.
sure.
So
Again, it's in the eights. Again, anybody who tries to downplay this shit again is being hypocritical. It's in the eights. No matter what you want to say, that is a good game. Again, to me, sevens, even sixes are good games to me. Like again, I played 5 games that I love. Mav and I have talked about this a billion times, but eights, anybody who tries to tell you that 8 is not good is ridiculous. Okay. 8 is a great game. So there's plenty of people who did love this game enough, even to counter some of the weird ones out there. But again, it is what it is. But to stay in the eights, I think is fantastic. Again, this is not Obsidian's what we consider their A team per se. Their
yeah,
A team is working on Outer Worlds 2 right now. So for a team headed up by Carrie Patel, her first time as full-time director of this game, and she did take this game over after they had decided to reboot what they were doing on the game. That is now confirmed. That was in her interviews. I did listen back to a couple of her interviews this past week as well. Really insightful stuff. Again, I think Carrie does a great job interviewing. And the whole comment about the jank was not like, when I finally listened to it in context of how it was said, I was like, okay, that's not, she didn't actually come out and say there was going to be a whole lot of jank in this game. That's not how it came out. Anyways, we will go back and revisit that. The game's out, and for the most part, there's been some people having performance issues. There's other people claiming there's no performance issues. Digital Foundry thought it was great. So again, and they across all the platforms. Now, again, there's been conflicting here, but we know that happens these days too. Some people playing on the same hardware, two different people, two different experiences with some of these games. But I think overall, having a newer team, and they do have some veterans here, obviously. Carrie's a veteran of Obsidian, but having her her first full-time director job, taking over the game after they decided to go away from the multiplayer aspect, go to the single player game, much like we saw with Dragon Age Veilguard, to score like this, to get a lot of the praise that people have been having for this game, with some criticism, which is going to be there, but having the praise that they did, I think they did a fantastic job from what I would say is their B team right here from Obsidian. I think this is great, especially taking a game in the Pillars universe, to a new style of game that, obviously the original fans have never seen it portrayed this way, in a first person and third person Western RPG style, not the turn-based that everybody knows it from. So I think that this overall has got to be considered a success for them, and hopefully it will continue. But I can't wait to try it next week. I will have my own thoughts and feelings on it, as I always do, once I deep dive it, and so will Mav, and we'll talk about it next week when we get together back here again. Sea Lord of Bravos, what's going on? He said, I predicted 83, so pretty close. Hell yeah, you were. DS Open, what is going on? Because Open Critic is basically saying that. It says, do we really think Avowed is worse than Outer Worlds? Because Open Critic is basically saying that. See, that's the shit where it gets weird when you start looking at comparisons of scores to other games. It just doesn't work. Because, yeah, when you start looking at some other stuff, it becomes really odd sometimes. Like, it's like, nah, I don't think too many people would agree with that, although I do love the Outer Worlds. So I will be kind of referencing to Outer Worlds, because I said I hope that's what I'm seeing a lot of, but I want to see them even expand upon that, and I'm hoping Avowed, from some of the reviews, some people did say that it is kind of expanded upon what Outer Worlds did, so I can't wait to jump in myself and judge. Brett Bingham's in the house. What's going on, Brett Bingham? I see you jumping in here, brother. Great to see you. We got the Music 72 in here. What's going on, Music 72? Great to see you. Dizzy Delta 99. What is happening? He says, thank you for doing a show right now, so I don't have to listen to that Crossfire garbage trashing about. Well, welcome, Dizzy Delta 99. I do not even subject myself to that bullshit anymore. So, my God, I get the clips just to see what they're talking about over there, because there's plenty of people that clip them, but hell no, listen to an entire show of that shit? No, we ain't doing that, man. But so welcome, and glad we could keep you entertained, Dizzy Delta. Enjoy the show. Be nice. What's going on? Be nice. Great to see you in here. Says, good evening, Mav and Pong. Loving Avowed. I'm enjoying it. Great, bro. Everybody is talking about this. I love that everybody's enjoying this game. Nate Dogg says, Mr. Maddie is one of the best reviewers in the industry. Don't always agree, but he does a very good job. Again, they teach their own, man. I think Mr. Maddie has unfortunately lost a little bit of the passion for the industry. That's just personal. Going back and listening to his old stuff to now, it's become a job for him, which is fine. Again, that he's getting paid, he's making a living, he's got to run a family off of it. That's his gig. He's doing what he does. I think he has lost a little bit of what originally got him into this industry. So, but again, that's just going to be personal opinion. I still listen to his stuff. I still obviously listen to the Dukes with him and Cog. Love their back and forth. Love their talking points. So, but I definitely see why you say that, sir, because he is a very professional about everything right now. Let's see here. Let's see. Def Leopard's in here. What's going on, Def? Great to see you in here, brother. Who else? King of Sanity got deleted, but appreciate you joining us. I don't know what you said, King of Sanity, to get that, but it must have been not very nice, but appreciate you joining us anyways. ALZ180, what's going on? Says, all the Far Cries have been amazing. The story has been great. The gameplay is great. Don't know why you need to change it. Exactly. Because everybody just thinks the minute they get sick of something that it should change. And that's just not the case. Like, again, if the devs want to try something new, I'm always down for it, right? Go for it. But the original, if it got you where you are, don't try to reinvent the wheel. I've never been for reinventing the wheel. Even if some people fall off, even if some people say, I'm dead and bored of this, make your game, man, that got you here. Don't try to go way outside of bounds and try to do something completely different that ruins the original fan base that is going to be your main fans for life. Because a lot of us fall in love with games for life. Again, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, they will always be a go-to for me no matter what. Unless they really change it up. Who else is in here? Mike H. What's going on? Mike H. Mav, stop blaming it on Xbox tax. Come on. I think we're past the point now, Mike H. Xbox tax has been proven. If you don't agree, you don't agree. It's just kind of proven. Again, this media is no different than mainstream media. Bias is everywhere. It's acceptable in journalism these days. It's been acceptable for over a decade now. There's a lot of ins and outs of that, but it's become open. Again, it's not hidden anymore. Everything's an editorial, so everybody gives their opinion. And the opinion is, more likely than not, that Nintendo and PlayStation are the cool kids of the club. And the Xbox is on the outside looking in and has been for a very long time. So, unfortunately, the journalists come across that way. But if you don't believe that, so be it. You don't believe it. They're all fair. But here, we believe in the Xbox tax. Who else we got in here? We got Thatch in the house. Go on, Thatch. Great to see you, brother. Thank you for joining the show. We got One-Eyed Will. What is going on, One-Eyed Will? Thank you for being a part of the show. We got the Beer Baron in the house. What's going on, Beer Baron? He says, add an elephant Mario. Oh my God, revolutionary 94 meta. Exactly, Beer Baron. Bullshit. We got Scott Gamer Dude in here. What's going on, Scott Gamer Dude? Thank you for being a part of the show tonight. Let's see. I think I got Day Reezy before, but Day Reezy, great to see you. Says choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo to all of you. Who else? We got Will E. Make It. What's going on, Will E. Make It? Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the show this evening. E. Ranks dropping on by. Appreciate you, E. Ranks. What's going on, Alvin? Great to see you. Said Gandalf, dual wielding, Glamdring, and Magic Though. Okay. We could get in a long conversation about Gandalf, though, and about that type of magic that he wielded and what Glamdring he didn't like. It's tough. That's a long conversation. I know where you're going, Alvin, though, for sure. I know where you're getting there. Again, I'm just a purist. Let's see here. Who else we got in the house? Let's see. Scrolling up. 20050. He says, Paul and Mav, anyone know when Rise is releasing on Game Pass? When Rise is releasing on Game Pass? Rise Son of Rome?
I don't know.
It joined the cloud, Mav. I just saw that Rise actually joined the cloud, the group of games now available.
Yeah, I mean, I think Crytek owns the rights again to it. I know that Microsoft published the first game. I don't know why it wouldn't be in Game Pass.
It's totally in Game Pass though, because I played it there. Huh. I don't know. I absolutely played it there because you could even get all the currency for free. You can get as much currency as you want out of that game. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know it wasn't in.
Yeah, no, I think it's still in there. Oh, what's going on, Oates? I think I might have gotten you before, but great to see you. We got the Sly Crow. He is in here, everybody. Again, Sly Crow, I don't know if you were in here early enough to hear me, but I did try the Lancer. It's actually one of my favorite weapons of Monster Hunter Wilds. I might be your tank. I might be your Huckleberry, Sly Crow. Yeah, we're going to find out.
It's in Game Pass. The legendary edition's in Game Pass.
Yeah, and you can just keep upping the currency and you play. It's really dope, actually. I love that game. BT Maverick 707. What is going on, BT? He was in here earlier saying it's just starting up Avowed now on PC, fiddling with the settings. BT, have some fun, man. The Fifth Horseman V is in the house. Is going on. Fifth Horseman, great to see you. He says the beta phase 2 starts tonight at 10 p.m. I did not know it was start. Oh, it is the 13th. You're right. That's right. Monster Hunter Wilds is starting tonight again. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And thank you for being here. The beautiful Miss Caitlin's been in here. Thank you, Caitlin, again for the amazing thumbnail as always and everything you do behind the scenes. Appreciate you all the time, girl. We got Master BKB Lou Boo in the house. He goes, go and play Warriors Abyss. What a great game. It is. It really is, man. As a fellow Dynasty Warriors Samurai Warriors, Omega Force lover. It is an awesome game. Matthew Gale, what's going on, Matthew Gale? Thank you for being in here. We got nerds and other legends coming in here. Hello, random gamers. Hello to you, sir. You're not random. We know your name, so appreciate you being here. We got Corkenstein. What's going on, Corkenstein? Thank you, brother, for being a part of the show tonight and joining us. We got the Rob C in here. What's going on, Rob C? Glad you could make it too, sir. Thank you so much. We got Isaac Hayes, 85. What's going on, Isaac? We got the Masshole 1977 coming in with my favorite greeting. What's good, nerds? What's good with you, nerd? Great to have you here, Masshole. Thank you. My God. Buzz, I see you dropping in here. What's going on, Buzz? Thank you for being here. I think that's everybody. We got Chris Owens, otherwise known as See You Dude, dropping a 5 bomb. Choo-choo, motherfucker. He says, bring back Battle for Middle Earth and Suikoden the GOAT. Go Eagles. Woo. I didn't make you read it, man. Go Eagles, though.
Thank you.
Go Eagles. But he knows how to he knows how to make everybody happy, because obviously Suikoden is one of his favorite games, if not his favorite game of all time. It's up there for me in the classic franchises, and that's coming out soon. And then of course our favorites and his as well, because he's an RTS guy. Battle for Middle Earth in there. That's yes.
Battle for Middle Earth. So good, man.
Rogue, I see you jumping in here. Yeah, it's so good, man. We need a new one.
Did we get the other 5 from Chris? For make sure to hit that like button.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, 5 another 5 from See You Dude. Make sure to hit that like button. Yeah, if you can. Again, Mav and I don't do the business shit as well as we should around here. But yeah, if you got a second to go ahead and hit the like button, if you got 2 seconds to go ahead and share us out, please feel free to do so. It does help everybody find us. And we've been seeing a lot of cool people drop in here lately to the Fun Speculation Network. So, man, thank you all for being here, though, man. Amazing conversations in there. Mav and I kind of like wrapped up in whole conversations. That's what we do sometimes as we're going through the chat.
Yeah.
Love it. We kind of got into the Avowed. Brett Bingham's Def Leppard, the biggest porn stashes you've ever seen. Brett, I don't know what you talk. I'll show that one because nobody can see it right now, but I'll show that one. I don't know what you and Def got going on, but let's go.
Is it a
Avowed porn stash?
Oh, they have
somebody must be character great. Yeah, okay. Porn stashes. Okay.
Right on, man. shout out to the porn stashes out there. And then did we get this one? Ron G 2665 with a $2 said Game Pass good, but I'd rather give Steam $70. Cool.
Hey,
play it.
Beauty of options.
Yeah,
a beauty of options.
Love the options, man. I personally I like Game Pass because I can play on PC or Xbox.
Yep.
So I get that option either way. That way with Game Pass. But if you like just loading up your Steam library full of games, ain't nothing wrong with that either, man. More power to you.
I also want to quick shout out to Destin, everybody's favorite Destin Ligari as well. If anybody doesn't remember when he first previewed Avowed, he made a really ugly character and posted it.
Yeah,
with his thoughts. He knew what he was doing. Okay, again, Destin's no dummy. I hate when he plays like a dummy that he is. A dummy, and then he goes into victim mode sometimes too when he gets the pushback. But again, it's all part of engagement.
Yeah, like what do you mean? I just made a character. It's a character.
I'm just a big dummy guy. I'm so sorry, guy. Like, I hate that bullshit, bro, because we all know it's a fucking act. All right. Anyway, most people should. I know some people take it. Oh God, man. Anyways, so he made a very ugly character, which he knew would blow up. And people would use it as, oh God, look at what Avowed's doing with their character, even though it was so ridiculous. Like, you knew, right? It doesn't matter nowadays, right? He came back today and made another post of how it started versus how it's going, and actually posted a picture of his current character in Avowed, and he had actually made a beautiful waifu. I got to give him credit. Actually, the girl was looking pretty damn good. And actually posted it correctly and said, this is how it's going, and showed that you can make beautiful characters in Avowed. So shout out to Destin for fixing that little thing that he did. So anyways,
I've seen some other people having fun with the character creator today.
Yeah.
There's some crazy creations, man. Somebody posted a video and it's like it turns its head slowly and it's like, wow, what the hell is that thing? You know, I love that shit though. It's funny, man. It's super funny.
The god that I'm not doing the god shit. like the God crystal
The
shit, that
the
glow,
shroom heads.
shrooms. I'm not doing the Last of Us bullshit clicker shit. I'm not doing that. It just I can't. I can't. It looks so bad. Anyways, we got Shane G coming in with $1.99. Thank you, Shane G. Says price guess on the next main Xbox console. I think $7.99. That is almost exactly. I think that's where I was actually. I think $7.99 is the price point because I do think it's going to be an enthusiast console.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the actual console itself, now the handheld, I don't know. Handheld, I think is going to be $5.99, somewhere in that neighborhood. Now Steele reverses those two, and he thinks that the handheld is going to be more expensive than the console. I still think the console is going to be the more expensive one, but it's a good guess, Shane.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll with $700. Just
$699,
just for hope. Just for hope. Just for hope. Putting it out there. Just putting it out.
I just think if it's going to do everything that we think it's going to do, it's going to be an enthusiast console.
Yeah.
I think that's the way you go. I think you go full. You don't dip your toe. Just go in.
Yeah.
Make it cheaper than PC. Obviously, keep it cheaper than PCs, right? Keep it under 1,000, but at the same time, put the bells and whistles in there. Jack it up enough where it's not going to be obsolete in a year or two, and really do something with it, right? And I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I wonder like what the equivalency to them to modern day PCs will be when they release. Like, my guess is it'll be somewhere around probably close to what we have now for our PCs, maybe with a little bit
It's going to
newer.
be crutched with a lot of AI.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's what they're going to do. That's how they're going to offset that, Mav, by not having to have like the top end GPUs in there. They're going to offset it with AI and all the DLSS or whatever they're going to come up with, right? FSR, if they're going to keep using that, or if they're going to do
There'll be new
new
acronyms by then.
There's going to be new, like PlayStation's pisser. I mean, again, we're gonna get something like that. And I know a lot of people, shout out to Steele, he hates it. But I think that is the future. And that's how you offset cost. That's how you do keep the cost down. If you and again, Microsoft has invested so heavily into AI. I think they're going to lean into that on their console, that they got the advantage there. Other companies will have AI, but Microsoft and what they're doing with open AI, love them or hate them, they've got a lot of advantages there in the tech, and they can put all their weight behind that into their consoles, another showpiece for what they're doing. So I think it might do things that maybe other companies just can't get done. So we're going to see, but I think that will offset.
Yeah. Those do like SHTR.
Shitter.
Yeah, so we'll have the pisser versus the shitter. Yeah. Super high telemetry ray tracing or whatever.
It's pretty good off the top of your head.
Let's see. We also got
you want to read this one?
Yeah. Oh fuck. Okay.
He says you have to.
I started to. I didn't see the end of it.
Well, he says you have to, so go ahead.
Okay. Brandon Martin here with a very generous $5 super chat says, Avowed is such a good RPG. I've already put in 3 hours in it. Don't listen to the critics. What a great game. And Mav, you have to say, fly, Eagles, fly. That's just for you, you fucking piece of shit Eagles fans. I hate all of you, but I also love you. I put out a tweet congratulating each and every one of you, and then I threw up in my mouth afterwards. Congrats, Brandon Martin, and everybody else who roots for that horrible organization, the Philadelphia Eagles. With God, they just push their way into the end zone by pushing each other's asses forward. Get first downs by cheating. Oh God, congrats, Eagles fans. Appreciate you, Brandon. Anyway,
it was better than the Chiefs. I'm just gonna.
Oh God, yeah. They annihilated them.
was
absolutely annihilated them.
I didn't want to see the Chiefs win another bullshit.
Dude, I the allergies are fucking crazy, bro. I like my eyes. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see the rest of this show. Ron G2665 with a $2 says, great show, but no media bias. You get what you put out.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem. Yeah, I know my allergies are just sniffling. I just don't count those as a cold, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, if I make a mistake of touching one of my eyes at any point, it's like over, bro. Oh my God.
All right. We're gonna go. Oh, what? PT Gabe Blam's in the house. Blam, what's going on, brother? Great to see you dropping in here. Says Mav, you're crashing out. Mav is crashing out.
Yeah,
Mav's been crashing for a while, bro. This is leftovers. This is leftovers from the Luca trade.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
this is like, yeah. I mean, he hasn't stopped
I
crying himself to sleep every
spontaneously
night.
cry, spontaneously cry every once in a while ever since the
This
Luca
isn't
trade.
allergies. He was just thinking about
I was
Luca.
just thinking about Luca. It just popped into my head, and I was thinking about the I saw the Eagles super chat and it made me think of
Yeah,
sports, and it's like any sports thing, it's
Luca,
like Luca.
Luca.
Man, it like I see stuff all the time, like just randomly on Twitter. I can't escape it. Ah. The Mavs have more players out than they do active. Like,
They're cursed now, brother. I told you that in the DMs. They're cursed. This is now a curse. They've done it to themselves. Much like the Vikings with the Herschel Walker trade, it's over with. You guys cursed. You're cursed. Mavs are cursed. You don't do that, bro. You just don't do it. Anyways, who else?
I agree.
Who else? Yeah, I know you agree. I know you agree wholeheartedly. Wilfred Rosario, I see you jumping in here. He says, I will buy the combo system and handheld release around the same time if they bundle it. Yeah, hopefully they'll come up with something like that if they're going to do it. Although, there, obviously there is word. Well, we got word actually from Jez, Mav. I don't know if you saw that. I could actually probably bring up the article. We actually could probably start there since we've been talking a little bit about the console due to Shane's super chat there. Let me pull it up today. Because he had something interesting. Where is it? God, Windows Central puts out a lot of stuff. Hold on. I gotta scroll. I totally forgot about this one actually. The article today.
While you're looking that up, I'm gonna get to this Chris Jones super chat. Again,
Go
for $5 says, I'm a Bulls fan and even I'm mad about the Luca trade for you, Matt.
ahead.
Yeah, thanks. There's been a lot of people surprised around the NBA in general, and I have to say I got to give credit to a lot of the other NBA fans that have been like, "Hey, I feel for Mavs fans right now."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's been a thing. It's like, hey, they know we got fucked by our GM and ownership, who aren't even allowing criticism. God.
Well, because people recognize again, there's just like you got fleeced, and there's like just no. Again, as much as they want to double and triple down on it, nobody's going to sit here and listen to the excuse that either A, he was overweight, or B, because his defense isn't A plus. That's they
And
can't
if
win
anybody's
that
been
way.
actually watching like this past year, like he actually like really been put a lot more effort too, and defense. He's
Right.
actually been playing pretty good. I don't
Yeah.
know.
God damn, why can't I find this? God, Windows Central. Jez, you guys put out way too many articles, bro. You guys put out way too many articles. Where the hell was that? Was that even today or was that yesterday?
Which one are you looking for?
The article where he confirmed that they got the confirmation that the new console has been greenlit. Like it's all the way up the chain and it's been greenlit and they're rolling. Like this is it.
how did I miss that article?
I don't know because that was on my list, but I totally forgot about it. But now that I'm scrolling back through Jez's shit, I can't find where. Again, he's got so much garbage.
I'm looking at his Twitter feed right now.
Yeah, so am I, and I can't find it. God damn it! Did anybody post it in our chats? I don't remember if anybody did. I think I reposted.
I see his article about Microsoft might legit publish
Yeah,
more.
publish more games.
That
Yeah,
was something that Ryan
was it a
McCaffrey
part of
said.
that? Was it part of that article? Maybe it was inside that article.
It might be.
It might be inside that article. Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, there's so many articles. Oh my god.
Nope, it's not inside that one. Jez, come on, man. Where are you? Anyways, well, we could just talk about it too. Jez did confirm. Let me see if I can just find underneath his name. Task guy. Nope, I can't see it. I don't see it. Anyways, there was an article this week, everybody. Not lying, where Jez did confirm that the sources within Xbox have stated that the new console, next gen, has been greenlit all the way through the top, and it's on. So it's past the design phase, all that kind of shit. It is ready to rock and roll, ready to good. Now, whether or not that means they can get it out by next year, again, sources being sources, you never know how far along this shit is or when they actually did give this information to Jez.
I got it.
You got it? Okay,
yeah.
perfect. Can you send it in DMs?
Yes.
Send it in DMs. Thank you.
Well, did I get it? I clicked on the okay, so I saw a Game Pass. I mean a GameSpot article where it says a new report. Um, and then it just links to a comment on
Of course it does.
yeah, it links to a comment.
Uh,
So they tried to give credit to Windows Central, but they didn't actually give the credit.
okay. This is fucking weird. Anyways, like the one article I can't find, I find everything else. Like it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, that's what was stated was that there was new hardware and that it was obviously a game, which we all knew there was, right? It's just confirmation
Okay, I got it now
that
for you, for real.
okay. All right.
I'll send it to you right now. It's coming your way. I found
All
it. I
right,
did
fine.
my sleuthing.
Cool,
Okay,
cool, 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 cool.
go
Send
go 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 go. All right, here I'm sending it to G.
Ship it.
Wait, here we
Ship it.
go.
Ship it to yeah, just ship it. I don't care where you put it.
Oops, I didn't actually post the link. Okay, paste
Oh my
as.
god.
Here you go. There you go.
Mav under
Look
pressure is not
look
good.
at that. Look at that.
So it is legit. It is underneath the published one.
Yeah. It's in that article. I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll just read the entire article since we've gone on this long. My God, sorry everybody. We don't. I mean, we're bad at planning because we don't plan here, but we don't usually do that shit. So thank you everybody for being patient here. It's underneath the this article. I'll just read the article because it's legit. Got some good information in it. Jez posted Microsoft might legit publish more games on PS5 this year than Sony does. Gamers react to PlayStation State of Play and the strange times, and we'll just roll into the State of Play after we get done talking about this small conversation here. Sony had its semi-regular State of Play showcase yesterday, and PlayStation gamers hoping for a roadmap received a lot of third-party multi-platform titles instead. Did Xbox bow out too soon? Yesterday, PlayStation had its State of Play event, a semi-regular showcase of upcoming games from both the first and third party, more so than ever. State of Play featured a ton of multi-platform games, both slated for Windows PC and Xbox Series X and S, in addition to PlayStation, which accentuates an evolving industry. Right now, costs are outstripping growth for players in the console space. Sony has been seeing a modest increase in users year over year, but the overall pie chart shows Windows PC is the main growth vector for the gaming industry right now. To that end, PlayStation has begun supporting PC more than ever, with first-party titles like Helldivers 2 demonstrably performing better on Windows than it did on PlayStation itself. Even Sony's biggest franchises like God of War and Spider-Man have begun hitting PC, and it seems almost inevitable that the future PlayStation games will hit a day-and-date PC launch cadence in the future, similar to Xbox. Things have progressed even more quickly on the Xbox side. Microsoft has begun first to begin supporting PC to find new users and revenue as a console player on the lowest rung of the ladder. That strategy has been quite devastating for Xbox's hardware sales, which have shown yearly declines at a breakneck pace for several quarters now. Microsoft has started putting its games not only on PC, but now even PlayStation in order to make up for the slow death of its own hardware platform. Ryan McCaffrey said Microsoft might legit publish more games on PS5 this year than Sony does. That was a post he made on X. Go back 5 years and tell people the above might actually come true. I would argue that nobody seriously predicted this, but in 2025, it may well and truly be the first year Xbox publishes more games on PlayStation than Sony itself. Microsoft is bringing longtime multi-platform titles it purchased like Call of Duty and Minecraft to PlayStation as usual, but it's also bringing first-party made games like Forza Horizon 5, Indiana Jones, Age of Empires across to PlayStation as well. We've heard that even more games are slated for PlayStation in the near future and long-term future too. Recently, I've been hearing from trusted sources that Hellblade 2 was slated to be launching on PlayStation 5 as soon as April, although it could be later as Microsoft aims to spread out its games launches throughout the fiscal year. Indiana Jones is on the docket for around that time frame too. There's no reason to think upcoming Xbox games like South of Midnight, Avowed, and even Fable won't hit PlayStation in the future, as well as Xbox deems Windows PC and Xbox Series X and S as a limiting factor to its short-term revenue goals. Xbox fans, of course, remain concerned that the viability of long-term investment in Xbox platform potentially misplaced. He's got a quote from Destin here, also on X, saying, I just landed and have no idea what happened during the PlayStation stream. How did you rate it? He put out a poll up to gauge the reaction to PlayStation State of Play, with most users voting D. There has been frustration in the PlayStation camp over the lack of clarity regarding the firm's long-term roadmap for its first-party studios. PlayStation is publishing open world Ninja Fantasy, Ghost of Yotai, and Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding 2 this year, but updates on the projects from the firm's heavy hitters like Sony Santa Monica, Insomniac, and Naughty Dog are typically what seems to generate the big headlines. Naughty Dog did recently reveal its next game, which is a sci-fi outing though and Insomniac just shipped Spider-Man 2 on PC fairly recently. But indeed, the elephant in the room is that all of these games are inevitably coming to Windows PC as well via Steam or otherwise. Of course, then he also put in a quote from Gaz on X. Shout out to Gaz. All we're doing now is basically arguing about timed exclusive. Embrace PC, get everything. um, Gaz reacted to the discourse with the inevitable truth. PC has increasingly become the de facto place to play if you truly want everything. Steam is the only platform that incorporates PC exclusives, PlayStation exclusives, and Xbox exclusives into a single place. And with Steam doubling down on its homegrown gaming Linux distro Steam OS, the possibility of a more traditional console for your TV from the Steam has become increasingly likely. Someone who grew up unable to afford gaming PC for the vast majority of my life, the idea of PlayStation and Xbox simply giving up on their respective ecosystems is a bit depressing. Not everybody can afford a high-powered gaming PC rig, and to go further, not everyone wants one. Windows is only useful in a desktop environment and a pain to command from a sofa with a controller, although Xbox VP of Next Gen Jason Ronald insists that the plan is to improve this. At least for right now, Windows is the opposite of intuitive on devices like Asus ROG Ally and a Lenovo Legion Go, let alone via a sofa on a TV. At least for now, there are no signs of PlayStation or Xbox fully bending the knee to PC. Indeed, as gaming news curator Hasdor points out, Sony's recent financial report revealed that the firm saw a plus 16% year-on-year growth for its hardware delivery. My console sales, everybody, my console sales. They just keep going. Shipped 75 million now, everybody. So congratulations to PlayStation on that one. With a plus 7 growth in console users, the PS5 Pro doubtless helped that out. Sony over here helped out Sony here over the holiday period, but it'll be interesting to see if PlayStation can maintain the momentum given the rise of PC. The X factor for 2025 is Grand Theft Auto 6, which is not launching day and date on PC and could drive users on Xbox One and PS4 to upgrade in irregularly large amounts. Xbox doesn't release its figures for active console users, but I would guess they are on the decline from this point, with users flocking to PC in increasing amounts. Xbox hardware has declined nonstop for several quarters as the firm pretty much stops marketing its products and didn't even bother to do serious sales and deals over Black Friday last year. Xbox is still pledging to build next gen hardware, though. To that end, I've recently been told that Xbox's next gen console hardware has now moved past its early pitch stages and has been fully approved and costed all the way up the chain. I doubt we'll see a review of their hardware strategy anytime soon, but what is perhaps more interesting is how Xbox will seek to entice developers to support its efforts on PC. So far, developers have completely shunned Microsoft Store for delivering PC games, which doesn't seem sustainable if Microsoft is to maintain its own ecosystem. All right, man. Lots of information in there. So let's just start with where we were going with this, which was that the new console hardware has been supposedly greenlit to the top. I don't know if there's much to say. You and I have had many, many discussions here and elsewhere about this stuff and what we've believed all along was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. But Jez is confirming, which is good news that, the inside sources are saying, yeah, it's done. It's all the way up the chain. We're going to have another generation. So for all the people still that were crying out here, screaming from the rooftops that the sky was falling, that Xbox was leaving the hardware industry, not happening. Okay. Not happening. They're going to give it another go. Now, what that looks like and how different it is from the traditional sense of a console generation, that's what we're all, I think, extremely curious and fascinated to see, because we know chances are they're going to do something different this time around, Mav, because they got nothing to fucking lose at this point, right? They haven't been selling shit for consoles. They haven't been producing shit for consoles. If you look at where it's been sold out everywhere, for the most part, some of that's just going to be, they don't have a lot of inventory. They kind of, this generation, waved the white flag, like Phil said, when it came to console hardware. So it is what it is. But what that does do, as I've explained before, what it does with their whole ecosystem, with the whole idea behind Xbox, it unshackles them from the old ways. Again, when you're in that position and you're trying to go for the biggest piece of the pie possible, in fact, you're trying to get the whole pie in some way, shape, or form, you are no longer tethered or bound to the old ways of thinking about console hardware, about what you have to do versus your competition. You are free to choose your own destiny in that space. And from all the rumors, all the smoke that we've talked about over the past year, year and a half now, Mav, that's exactly what they're doing with a hybrid, with this handheld version. Maybe it's all in one package deal, like the Switch 2. Who knows? But it does seem like they're going to break the mold here, Mav, with their next piece of hardware. But it has been greenlit. It's all the way up to the top. What are your thoughts on that, Mav?
Yeah, I mean, I think it it just leaves more like curiosity about what it's going to look like, right?
Yeah.
Because I in Jez's article, there's a lot of like, um, I would say pessimistic speculation or pessimism as far as like in general where things currently stand.
Mm,
But on the same boat, all the things that they keep announcing and all the things they keep talking about are to improve all those things, right? We had Jason Ronald at um what was at CES talk about
mhm.
it. We know that they're going to be at GDC soon to talk about the Xbox app and stuff there as well. They talked numerous times about um innovation and stuff with the gaming space and changing things and all the rumors about hybrid PC slash type console for the next gen device. I think that overall the things that they're saying is one thing. Now they got to live up to it because
Yep.
numerous times they've said one thing and then ended up doing another.
Mhm.
Just like all these
Yeah.
big companies do. Um, but there's no reason for me to think that that's their end goal is to try and have this unified ecosystem that's everywhere and include console gamers within that, right? And the fact that their next console is also greenlit, you know, um, gives credence and credibility to the stuff that they've said before about hardware is still going to be a core part of what we do. You know, I think the main difference that people are starting to accept maybe and realize is it's just not that's not what Xbox is anymore. Right? Xbox is not a box, and it hasn't really been for a long time. But when they decide to put their games all these other places, then they start talking. It started with PC, now it's going to other platforms, right? They failed to reach a certain amount, a level of customers within their own gate kept walled garden, right? So where now they feel like to justify all the games that they have and to keep all the games healthy and growing and the market growing, they need to reach more places, right? So the
Correct.
fear for many is like, well, then what's the point of even selling your own hardware? Well, because for me, I was like, well, always looking at it, I look at it from like a business numbers perspective. There's still a shit ton of us that have Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate and like to play on console that prefer Xbox. And even with the numbers you look at it, yeah, maybe some are going to PC, some are going here or there. Still, you're going to have 30 to 40 million people like that like to buy expensive console, like to buy lots of games on expensive console. And they don't want to just say, okay, all of you people go somewhere else, right? But what they want to do, I think, is make it easier for them to have their unified vision across all these different things and still have consoles for customers be a core part of that, right? So I think that's where you see all the conversation about the hybrid, this different storefronts and all these other kind of things. The things that us as customers need to look out for is our digital libraries, what happens with our games moving forward. Like as they've said and promised on numerous times about something that should be an expectation for all gamers and especially a focal point for them about one of the core focuses that they have is forward compatibility with our libraries. That means that all the games that we've bought on console of across these generations that are supported carry forward with us to this next piece of hardware.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the most interesting thing to see is how do they have this PC hybrid console that may have access to potentially to other storefronts, which to this point is still just a rumor. But there's been people that seem like they know things that are saying that this kind of stuff. So we'll see at what point that becomes a reality or not. But the idea of Xbox everywhere, Xbox anywhere, all those other kind of things, and including the console as a part of that, needs to be the standard,
Mhm.
and that includes your digital library, right? So,
Right.
and that's what they need to. That's what I think that now that they got greenlit, right, for this, I think it would be good for them to come out and just kind of, you don't have to announce specifically the console. You don't have to announce the specifications on the console, right? But just come out and say, like, with our next gen console, you are going to be able to play all your games from all the last generations. And also, you're going to be have access to other things you never had access to before, or something like that. Like just give some idea about how it's going to work, because I think the one of the main things in people that where they're keep acting concerned or worried is about not understanding the dynamic of this new model.
Mm.
Like, how can a third party publisher still care about releasing consoles? Because at this point, Microsoft is and will be known as a third party publisher. They're going to release tons of games on Switch too. They're going to release more and more games on PlayStation. So you're going to have some games that may or may not, for whatever reason, as Phil said, you know. But I think more across the industry, they're going to be kind of more thought of that. I mean, even with their brands they have now that they've acquired with ABK and stuff, you're seeing, you know, Call of Duty, you know, obviously they already had Minecraft, you know, Overwatch, all these kinds of different games are going to be playable everywhere, and more of them. Sea of Thieves, you know, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Indiana Jones will be soon, and this is gonna keep happening. Forza Horizon, one of the tentpole franchises for Xbox. I think it's only a matter of time for Gears and Halo at some point. So for me, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. I could care less.
Right.
And I'm not personally concerned or worried, but it just leads me to curiosity, like, and just like it's interesting because we've never had in the console space, right? We've never had in the console space a massive publisher that does so many games, multiple platforms across all these different devices and PC, still make hardware. So I think that's the reason people are like, oh, they ain't going to do that because nobody else has done it before.
Right. 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 Right.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but Microsoft is unlike any other company that's ever done this before,
Mhm.
because they already have a solidified hardware team and multi-plat teams already doing all of this, right? And they know the money they're bringing in from different sources and different places, and they can justify within themselves where to put their resources and all these other kind of things. And I think it was last quarter, whatever, they were the biggest publisher in gaming, right? So if you add all of that up
Yeah.
together, they're in a very safe place and maybe willing to do some interesting things with hardware that we've never seen before. And that actually can be a benefit to us as customers and consumers if we can get behind it. But in order for a lot of people to get behind it, they have to understand what it is. And right now, it's just like they don't understand what it is. And I think in 2013, when all the debacle happened for DRM and all the other kind of stuff, the worst thing was the fact that Microsoft didn't have clear messaging about what was happening and what they were doing and how it was going to benefit customers, right? That led to confusion. A lot of interviews, they were being asked questions, they didn't really have answers for it. And when they did have answers for it, they got asked additional questions from some of the games media, and they were like, "Well, we don't know. We're gonna have to see about this, or we don't have to see about that. You know, things are kind of, we're up in the air right now." They can't come with that kind of energy going into this next generation. They got to
Right.
say, "This is why you need an Xbox console. This is why you should want an Xbox console. Or if you want to play in these other places, that's cool too. But for the console gamers, this is why it's good for you, right? And they need to make all of that clear and really solidify the faith in the library going forward for people, because that's been the main concern for many. Like, what happens if I buy a game and then they just stop making hardware, right? Well, I want to be able to have access to my hardware forever. So they need to address how that's really going to be the best place to purchase your games are on Xbox. Now, some of that's going to be come proof from the pudding from third-party developers start supporting these features more, Xbox Anywhere, Xbox Everywhere, all that other kind of stuff, right? But I think it's too early to be pessimistic on a lot of it, because we're seeing the groundwork just being laid for a lot of the stuff that they're building for this next generation right
Mm.
now. This is what all I think. This is what I said this before. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. That's just what everybody within Microsoft is on board with, is this unifying this ecosystem into one thing that's going to go across everything to build a new face of Xbox that's going to be used across all the different devices, to make it more universal next gen. So that way, Xbox Everywhere is clear and makes sense to everybody without question, that hey, your games are just going to work. And I think that's what they're all trying to work on behind the scenes right now. And I think that's why we keep getting these drip feeds of news about, hey, the stream your own games that are happening, right? Xbox app is getting some information at GDC. We had Jason Ronald commenting on this stuff at CES, right? And they see what Steam is doing. They see that the threat of them also on hardware, on TVs as well,
Mm.
in the future. They see all these handheld devices, they see all these innovative pieces of hardware, and they see the growth in all of those spaces, right? And they say, well, the traditional just console hardware box isn't really growing. It's the same customers buying generation after generation after generation, maybe some here, some there. You lose some to PC, you gain some as kids get older and end up wanting a console. But I think they see the future is in a different, more versatile space. And that's what they're chasing right now. So we'll see. Execution is key, right? You can greenlight whatever, but I just want to know, my curiosity is piqued. What will it look like? Because I think whatever we see for next gen will be very different than anything we've ever seen before. I will say this: if it's just this Xbox Series X2 and it's exactly the same as is this generation, and I don't think that would excite people. I don't think it would. It's just a more powerful Series X, like, I don't think that would be exciting enough to get a lot of people to be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get that. I think it's gonna be something innovative and interesting that they're gonna have, and I think that's going to be the key selling point next gen. I'm excited. I can't wait to find out what it is and when it is. But it's promising. I don't
No,
I don't know the I don't know, like, what how long it takes from greenlit to production and
that's
all
what I'm
that
saying. We don't
stuff.
know how old the information is, like
Yeah.
how long ago that was. Again, I still believe they're shooting for 2026. I think it just makes them the way that they've tailed off and trailed off their console production right now, with the X and the S. It's obvious. I don't think you do that if you're thinking 28, 29. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be 26, early 27. You're going to try to jump the gate with whatever this thing is. Again, it might not be both the handheld and the console, it might be one or the other first out the gate, but that's going to introduce whichever one is, it's going to introduce the next gen, and it's going to give a good look at what they're trying to do with their entire ecosystem. Now, there was great conversations going on in the chat as you were talking there, Mav, too, with Nate Dogg and Oates, and a bunch of others, Froggy T, etc. Thank you all for the conversation in there, by the way. But it is true, Mav. Like, all of this hinges, however, on them fixing a lot of problems that have been around for a very long time with their UI and with their
Mhm.
apps, right? The PC Store app is a fucking problem. Okay, you're not going to convert people. You're not gonna convince people to start buying on that instead of Steam if you can't fix the basics, and they still haven't fixed the basics. I still have a hard time digesting the fact that this company that went out and bought ABK for $70 billion And they now own Blizzard, who has a great online store, which we've seen them now flirting with, putting Avowed on there, Indiana Jones available through there, right? Have this massively successful store that a lot of people love and swear by. And how you have not, and maybe this is all happening behind the scenes, and everybody tell, oh, it's such big companies and they're integrating everything. Listen, you got priorities, and if your priority is to go next gen into this hybrid system where you're going to try to engage the PC crowd on a level that you have yet to get to, and that's where you think your most of your growth is, and you're going to try to create this hybrid system that blurs the line between console and PC more and more and more, and allows us to have access to all of our libraries in more places, which is, again, fantastic for the people like Froggy T saying, yeah, I got hundreds of games. People should be concerned about the future of hardware. Like, we've talked about this. I get that, Froggy T. And again, that's a reality for every single person in the digital age. What happens to my library? Sure, you can say, well, Nintendo's going to last forever. But Nintendo was almost knocked out by the Wii U. You can say PlayStation is going to be around forever. But if it wasn't for the electronics division at Sony at the time, PS3 and the cell processor could have potentially knocked PlayStation out forever. They flirted with death. They have all flirted with death. There is nothing guaranteeing this industry itself, the entire industry, is going to continue to grow. And if there is a massive contraction within this industry, there might be one or two hardware makers that don't make it out of this. But what we've always said, Mav, is the fact that because of what Xbox is trying to execute, if they can execute this and they can make this a reality where we are purchasing a game and it's available across any devices that we have access to the Xbox ecosystem on, then even if their hardware division were to close down, which would not be good, I would not be for it. Again, went through it with Sega Dreamcast, woke up one morning and they were done. We didn't get all this information, right? We didn't even know what really happened until it started being reported. But if they can make this a reality and they can make all of our games that we've purchased, let's say on the Xbox ecosystem, that aren't on other systems, that aren't available elsewhere, but if they can make those all available, right? However they figure this out, but that's their ultimate goal. Then if the fact were to happen that they did get out of the hardware race completely, that those our libraries would still be available somewhere, whether that was in the cloud, whether that was on a PC, whether that was on my phone, that somewhere, somehow, I'd still be able to log into my Xbox ecosystem and my games would still be playable. And I wouldn't need a piece of hardware. Now, would it be the best experience? Well, that's the hope, right? That none of this happens until technology is so freaking grand that we don't need the hardware anymore. And the experience is the same. If it were to happen tomorrow, would it be lacking? Yeah, it'd be lacking. But the facts are, this is something we didn't have back in the day at all, in any way, shape, or form, because even emulation back in the day was not a thing. So when Dreamcast went out, when Sega pulled from the hardware industry, unless I kept my Dreamcast forever, my Sega games could not be played anywhere. Even though I owned the physical copies, not a digital library, a physical library, I couldn't play any of my games unless I kept my Dreamcast. This right here, what Xbox and Microsoft are trying to do, also gains the benefit of potentially, if they pull this off, allowing your digital libraries to live on forever as long as Microsoft, the cloud, exist, which obviously those long term, you could see those things still being a thing. Now, obviously, anything can happen in this world. But I'm just saying, overall, it gives me more confidence out of all the ecosystems that 20 years from now, if they're out of the hardware game, I'm still going to have access to my library. Whereas I can't say that about Nintendo. Nintendo, I would still have to have their hardware. I would have to keep their hardware. I can't say the same thing about PlayStation because PlayStation isn't close to getting to this level of integration that Xbox and Microsoft are shooting for. But again, they do have a long road. Everybody's comments in there about the PC store, about the PC app, all that kind of stuff. That is all stuff they have all acknowledged publicly themselves. It is all stuff they are working on, but they've got to make big leaps and bounds. And to your point, Mav, and it's a point that we've had about this, you can't dip your toes in going this route. This is you trailblazing. This is Game Pass all over again. You can't, if you're going to go this route and you're going to try to change and make compelling hardware that is going to be different from traditional hardware in a lot of different ways, and you're going to try to set yourself outside what everybody else is doing and potentially have the cost be up there as that enthusiast kind of place to be, then you really have to go full bore. This can't be oh, we're working on it. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. This has to be good out the gates. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to show to the consumers this is why you invest in the Xbox ecosystem right here. This is everything kind of that we've learned and that we've been building behind the scenes all of these years. We have culminated that all into this now final form for Xbox. And this is the future. This is the way forward. And you're going to be able to access your games any which way possible all across all these different devices. Your saves are all up in the cloud. Every single game that you own, whether you purchased them on the Windows Store, whether you purchased them on the Xbox PC Store, whether you purchased them on the Xbox Store, are all available to you wherever you're playing. And oh, by the way, if you want to load up your Steam, potentially, great. We're going to give you access to Steam too because we really don't care. Go ahead and access your Steam library through our console. Oh, you want to load into your Epic Store? Great. We're going to allow you to do that. GOG? Yeah, we got that too. That's what they got to be able to sell out the gate with this, whatever this new hardware is. And then all the other bells and whistles that we kind of talked about, Mav. Again, however they're going to make these generational leaps that Sarah Bond talked about, show that off. And proof has got to be there. And potentially, Mav, you were talking about, oh, by the way, you can play all your old library. All of that comes forward with you. On top of that, maybe some of this AI makes it so they can come out again and Jason Ronald goes, guess what? We used to do this whole boost system. We used to have to go in and kind of modify the games. We had to get everybody's permission. The AI now is just going to make everything better for you. So those old games that still were running 720p, those are going to be 4K now. AI is going to take care of that for you. That's going to be 4K on your OLED screen right now. Like that kind of stuff makes it so compelling that, again, I think I've never said that they're going to take the number one spot, but I think it makes it compelling enough that people that own the other system that maybe didn't look at Xbox as viable then start to go, maybe I need that handheld. Maybe I need that other box by my TV because holy shit, I can access all this shit at one time. That's where I think your selling point comes in. But they got a lot to get done between here and there. And so the points in the chat were well taken. And I do agree with you guys. They got a lot of work to do on that stuff. It's obviously a focus. Now we got to see them get it done.
Yeah.
But I'm excited too, Matt. Obviously,
execution is key, man. It's like,
oh god,
I mean, they're doing it right. Like they're 100% doing it. So we're gonna find out what this vision's gonna be, and like that for me, that's exciting. Like the future of a platform holder that's the biggest publisher in gaming that also makes hardware that also puts their games in the cloud and does all these other things and has a subscription service that gives you games day and date, but it's not solely reliant on the hardware that they're selling as the delivery platform for the services and the content, right? Like it could be a dangerous company in the gaming space because hey, if something doesn't sell as well as like hardware wise, okay, well that one didn't work. Let's try this other thing. Let's try this. And it's like, oh, what kind of devices are we gonna get? How many different kinds of devices are they going to have, or what are they gonna give to us at the end of the day is going to be intriguing and different than we've ever seen before, and that could be their place, right? Like we know what Nintendo is and what Nintendo does and what Nintendo delivers, right? And what they're going to continue to be, right? We got this like slowly evolving PlayStation that has had this identity that they've stood behind. Now I would argue that they still promote that identity but are completely fumbling behind the scenes and trying to maintain that image while they are actually being something else and trying to figure out how
75
to
million console ship, Mav.
exactly
Just behind the PlayStation 4.
so they have all of that, right? Yet we get a state of play, which we're going to get into in a minute, which delivered almost no first party content whatsoever, and a show that's supposed to be for the games coming out for 2025, right? So that's an interesting thing to see from the number one platform for high end console hardware, right? So selling an image is something PlayStation's never had a problem with, and maybe that's all they are at this point is an image. Is there any bones to it? We'll find out in the future, but we know what they're selling, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Xbox has kind of always had this like it's been an enthusiast box already, right?
In a way, in a
Yeah,
way.
I think a lot of the gamers
I
that
think it had a very unique identity though that did set it apart from others with it being a dude bro shooter box back in the
yeah,
day. I
dude
think that
bro
was an
shooter, our
that they did
Western
offer something
RPGs.
that the other two definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, PlayStation did a little bit to varying degrees, but not what Xbox did, and I
There
think
was a
that was a
lot of
real
those
identity.
games that were only on
Yes,
Xbox at the time
correct,
because they were only capable of being on Xbox,
correct,
right?
correct. Yep.
And I think that's a lot of that where they formed that identity. They really did well early in the
Mhm.
360 generation, and really had kind of solidified an identity at that point. But then they started chasing other things and chasing trends, trying to figure out how to be even more than that. And they kind of really
Yeah.
fumbled, and lost a lot of their street cred. I'll say, I guess. I
Mhm.
don't know how to say it any other way. But they've still maintained that enthusiast crowd, I think, as far as people
Yes.
that love specific kinds of
Correct.
games and that spend a lot of money on the games, right?
Mhm.
And that appreciate a variety of genres and variety of games. So they've all I think that's been kind of what no more so they're less of the casual box, more of the hardcore, I would say, an enthusiast. But now as hardware's continued to falter and stuff, it even with they had like really one bad year this generation in my opinion with 2022. Um and besides that, if you look at what that did, that one bad year, the momentum that it caused to shift, it seems like okay, they realize things are different. We've acquired more things now. We need to have a new identity. And I think this thing going forward, what we're going to see with new hardware, plus the delivering to across all these different places and all these different things, everything's an Xbox and all that stuff. I almost think there's like going to be this new thing that people associate Xbox as really something that is for everybody. You don't need anything. You can play you already have something to play it on, right? But for you enthusiasts, there's still this, right? And our hardware platform is going to be built upon that. And it's going to be an interesting thing to sell because I don't know how to sell it. Like it's the hardest thing to create for me is like, hey, Nintendo's like, buy this device, play the games on this device. PlayStation's the same. Buy this device, play this games on this device. Xbox
Correct.
is going to be like, buy this device because you want to, but you don't need it. And also you can play it everywhere else. But it's also that's the best for the consumers, right?
Correct.
So it's the best for the consumers, but it's the hardest thing to sell from a marketing perspective as far as like advertising and all these other kind of things because it's like hard to get across. I think Game Pass has kind of been hard for them to get across to people of what it is and how it changes things for gaming and what it delivers to people. Maybe they don't do it well enough or whatever, right? But I'm just curious how this new hardware is going to tie in with whatever the new messaging will be because I think with it comes like we've already seen it like this is an Xbox ads and all this kind of stuff. What is the
Right.
messaging and the advertising marketing going to be at that point? And will that become the image of Xbox and will that become kind of what it's known for? And I think honestly, if they can nail that, it can be a very pro consumer thing if they execute it properly to where they actually win over a lot of favor. and people don't necessarily care about all this gate kept shit anymore. And it's like, who's doing best for me? And if people start actually having that attitude towards the games and like who's doing it best for me, then they will actually start paying attention more to Xbox. But they got to figure out a way to execute that with their messaging and everything. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm curious how they're going to pull it off.
The whole package has got to be there.
Yeah.
Again, they've got a lot of experience doing this. Not necessarily, the greatest success, but they've introduced a lot of new products over the years, like the Surface,
Yeah.
the Surface line, right? And again, success, we could sit here and argue all day about what that means, but they've got, I think it's a point well taken, Matt, that they do have to, they got a lot of phases that they're going to have to hit in this next gen to really, as you said, sell themselves at this point to people and say, no, 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 we're offering more. No, we're not offering more exclusives because we really don't believe in exclusives anymore. But that's not what we're selling you. What we're selling you is access. We're selling you this entire ecosystem. We're selling you Game Pass. We're selling you all these benefits as a consumer. And we're trying to sell you on the point that we are becoming a more open platform, or really one of the few really truly open platforms, if they pull it off, where you can access all your libraries, to say we're the one-stop place that you just have in your hands or next to your TV where you can access all your libraries outside of PlayStation and Nintendo, obviously, because those aren't going to be accessible other than what's on PC. But you just got to sell that way. And how are you going to present that? Like, that's not something that's easy to present to people and come across like, well, why do I
Because
need
people don't
this?
understand it. It's like so
Correct. It's going to
simple.
be different.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be different in a lot of ways because everybody's used to one thing being able to do one thing and what it does, right?
Yeah.
I got my PC to access Steam. I got my PlayStation to play my PlayStation games. I got my Xbox to play my Xbox. Like, people don't, that concept is still foreign to them. So it is going to be something that they have to come up with a genius way to market. But again, we're going to find out. Maybe we're all wrong, and maybe they're going to come up with a traditional handheld and a traditional console. It's just going to be crazy. They're going to try to sell everybody again that's what they're doing. But I don't think so. But I think it's going to be fascinating to watch them pull this off or try to pull this off, no matter what. Whether it succeeds or fails, I'm still fascinated by it. And like I said, I'm going to be there day one. They're going to give me access to everything. I'm day one.
I mean, it's interesting to think also, like with the next gen Xbox, if the hybrid thing is true and you can access Steam and all these other kind of things, that's becomes one of the biggest selling points,
right,
for the hardware. But it's like, do they market that? Do it like in a Xbox next gen commercial? Do they, hey, the campaign is like, break down barriers, and then like access your Steam library, access your Epic library, access your GOG, right? And and of course, as always, Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like, is that what they do, or do they like steer away from marketing Steam because it's not promoting their own storefront? So it's like a double-edged. It's a double-edged sword, right?
Because I don't think, again, I don't think it's traditional anymore.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I just don't. And people are still looking at this from the traditional standpoint. And again, whether it succeeds or fails, we're going to find out, right? If they do this. But the point of fact is they're not thinking that way anymore. Everything they're doing is ass backwards from the old way of entering this industry and competing, right? This is all ass backwards. That's why everybody's been running.
That should be the slogan.
Saying they're getting out. Right.
Ass backwards. This is what we're doing, guys. You guys don't understand it, but trust me, it is going to be fucking amazing. Ass
me, bro. It's gonna be
backwards, bro.
Ass
Let's
backwards,
go.
trust me, bro.
We're doing shit different here. Games for everyone.
That's basically what
backwards.
It is.
Yeah.
But again, they've got to somehow penetrate. Pause. But they got to somehow penetrate
ass backwards.
No. We're not combining those two together.
Okay. Sorry, I was getting confused with the marketing here.
No, they have to be able to penetrate the masses and how they believe this industry runs and what it means to be Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, and why Xbox does bring unique value, and that's the hardest selling point. Again, they still haven't been able to convince enough people that Game Pass is value, which is
Crazy.
wild to those of us that
Yeah.
love it, right? Is wild to us that they haven't been able to find a way to market Game Pass better. But it's true. And it's not like they haven't tried. They push Game Pass nonstop. But the facts are the facts. They just haven't convinced people that people need it the way that people need Spotify, the way that people need Netflix, the way that those other subscription services have grown. Game Pass stalled. Like they did very well for a while, but that was with their core audience. That's basically what it turned out to be.
Yeah, the
So
console owners. Like, I mean, I bet
yes,
the console
yes,
owners, like the ratio of like console owner to Game Pass
it's
subscribers, probably
it's wild.
extremely high.
It's wild, bro. Yeah, no. It's definitely, and that's been the argument from a lot of people. Why? So then why do you cut off your console sales? Why do you give up on the console
Yeah, you
sales?
don't.
That's the main way you're pushing your game pad. Why do you give up the console space, right? Why do you do that? That's ass backwards. That's not what you do. Like you push it harder so that you God pause, this is getting bad. But you push it more because that's how you're getting most of your subscriptions is through the
You
console. You're not
penetrate
getting
harder, ass backwards.
more in PC. Right. You're trying to penetrate in PC and you're seeing growth there, but your console is still the place. Anyways, this is gonna be an ongoing conversation. I have to see what I'm hoping this is a 2026 launch because I need to see it. Like I want the T. I don't care if it's the handheld or if it's the console.
It's
or if
fucking
both.
exciting though,
I just
man.
need this. It is because it's the unknown. Because again, they are not tethered to the old ways anymore. And again, Sarah Bond tripling, quadrupling down on the biggest technological leap. And again, we could sit here and go, yeah, well, that's corporate speak. It could mean a bunch of different things. Like they could have the biggest technological leap in power draw that we've ever seen, where it draws the least amount of power. That's what they're going to say. Like, okay, but realistically, the way she said it and the way she was selling it, that's not what we're talking about. And I don't think it's going to mean necessarily straight up the most pure, powerful console that we've ever seen either. I think they're doing something extremely creative in multiple different ways with different tech, with different systems, with the UI that is going to make this potentially feel like a full generational leap of consoles, just not the traditional sense. And to me, that is what fascinates because it's unknown. It's a complete unknown right now what they could pull off. And that's what I'm
Which
excited
is
for.
fucking exciting for me. As
Yes,
long as they
absolutely.
double down in my library, like which
Yes, I can bring my
I
library forward.
personally have the utmost faith in because that's the core staple that they
Mm,
keep talking about was the most important thing, which should be
should
right.
be. Yeah.
And that's the most. I mean, for me, as long as they do that, I'm willing to let. I want to see them experiment and shit because it's fucking exciting and fun, man. We got a couple super chats to get to, Pong.
Get
Uh,
them. I'll be right back.
yes, sir. Chris Jones, aka C Unit, earlier hit us with another 5. Said with Civ 7 going to Quest 3, who knows what other games we might see come to VR devices too. Plus, cloud gaming is also on the Quest. Yeah, I mean, you see VR is a growing market. I mean, I would say that it's still like a niche audience right now, but it's getting better as the devices have gotten better, and I think over time the devices will continue to improve, which will in turn increase the market even more. And but it's still in a very expensive way to play games. You know, first if you really want to have the best experience, you got to have a good to great PC plus also a good to great VR headset. Or if you want just a good experience, you get one of the more expensive headsets that are you untethered to anything, and you can just kind of operate by itself. Or you know, it's as there's more devices out there, you're gonna see more games go right. But until that happens, you're gonna see probably a few here and there still, right? You're gonna see some games built for it, from passionate developers that really want to push that. It's interesting to see some of these games. There was a game actually shown at the State of Play that was for PSVR 2, and I didn't even recognize that it was a VR game when they were showing it until it said it at the end. I was like, okay, that was interesting. They have something for the PSVR 2 again, but if you bought a VR or PSVR 2, and you were excited for the future of that hardware, you would also be extremely disappointed at a state of play like this because there was like one game for you, and it was like a smaller game too. So I don't know, man. Like, we'll see what happens with Quest. I think Xbox has supported uh that with several games in the past. Bethesda especially with some of their games, and I think you're just going to kind of see that kind of implementation more so for the short term until there's enough of them out there. Then it's like, hey, we're going to start porting our games like natively to VR devices and have great VR modes. I think Motorsport and Horizon 5 would be amazing to see native on Quest. That would be awesome. Alvin with the 5 says, "What if the rumored next Steam box and the next Xbox are one and the same, and they've partnered behind the scenes this whole time?" Be interesting. I think you're going to probably see third-party Xboxes.
Well, yeah, eventually you are. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna see like some Asus or Lenovo or Alienware shit or some kind of device that looks like a box that you put on your TV and it'll boot up into an
And it
Xbox
might be more
ecosystem.
expensive.
Yeah,
It might be more
and they'll be
powerful.
higher spec,
Right.
and
Right.
it'll be sold as the Xbox or be sold as that device, and it'll be launching into Xbox, but they'll also those companies will also market that you can do all the other stuff on it too, right?
Correct.
And you'll also have Steam versions of those. Like, what is it? Lenovo just announced they're making a Steam version of the Legion Go, I believe, right? And so it's going to launch natively into Steam. Well, currently the past ones would launch natively into Windows, and you could access Xbox and all that kind of stuff on it, right? But in the future, as Jason Ronald was talking, when they get this maybe implemented later this year, they're going to launch more to like a native Xbox mode. So they already have a foothold in that market, really, if they can get the UI implemented properly onto a lot of those handheld devices. More of those are going to end up becoming dockable type devices as well. It's going to be interesting, man. Like, who knows what the next hardware device will be that truly takes off? And can Xbox crack the code of the cross between a console and a PC? The key to that is
Lots
licensing.
of competition now.
So
Lots of
we'll see.
competition. Yep.
Tons of
Tons.
competition.
Tons. It's gonna be random and weird what happens, I think.
Yeah.
So
But the good news on both of those devices, you'll be able to, on the back end, access the opposite.
yes.
So if you buy the Steam one that default launches into Steam with Linux, you can install Windows on it, like you can on Steam Deck now. Or you can install a Game Pass app using some trickery and stuff. I did it. I'm a fucking novice. When I had a Steam Deck, I was able to figure it out and do it. I was playing Game Pass. Pretty cool.
It is cool. Again, that's part of the excitement. Is what comes next. Where are we going? What's going to happen? Maybe VR will take over the entire world in the next 5 years and will totally change everything.
It's possible. They'll start buying some countries.
Maybe that's what's going to happen.
Maybe they're the ones that are going to own Greenland.
Maybe. Doubtful.
Name it Microsoft Land. And
there's always a chance.
That's where we're going to put all their server farms because it's cold.
Once they actually get TikTok, though, it's going to be weird. Fully integrated TikTok into all of our new consoles. Badass, bro.
TikTok's got some great features, man. Like, as far as like a streaming platform and stuff, like and treating the streamers, like there's a lot of stuff that they do better than a lot of others. Yep.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, again, I don't own TikTok, never downloaded the app in my entire life. Obviously, I've seen them, but not through the app because I refuse to download it. But if that were to happen, you could upload clips to TikTok instantaneously, like we used to be able to do on X and Twitter. That'd be dope. That'd be pretty dope. I'd do it. All right, Mav. Let's talk about this damn show. The main headline We're 2 hours in. We're
Oh
crushing it right
shit.
now, having big conversations, having huge I know, bro.
That
We're
was like
having huge
a huge
conversations.
tangent. Yeah.
I know. We went off on a whole. I was not planning on talking about next gen tonight, other than just quick blurb about Jez confirming that they greenlit. But this is what we do here. This is why I love it. This is why I love my Saturday mornings with Steel, because we're the same. So this is fascinating to get into these conversations that weren't planned. Thank you, chat. By the way, you guys contributed to that one greatly, and really good conversations in there. You guys have a lot of great ideas and a lot of great concerns, and also the excitement is still there. Even if there's a little bit of concern, which is again more than acceptable at this point. Anytime we see transformative, evolving changes that are complete 180s in many aspects to what they originally sold us just 5 years ago, 4 years ago, you could be concerned. There's not a problem with that, especially if it's your favorite company. There's nothing wrong with that, but I still see a lot of excitement too and potential for the future and what's happening here. So, and again, as the world's biggest publisher of video games now, I don't see them getting out of that anytime fucking soon. Okay, so I don't
Yeah.
see that at all. But thank you all. Appreciate that, man. Journeying with us to the side. But let's get back on track here. We do have to get to the main thumbnail. The main thumbnail said good enough state of play. And that kind of was based on the comments I heard Mav make. And I think I've got some questions for Mav at the end and some discussion there about this in totality when we get to that point when we talk about the state of play. But obviously, for anybody who was underneath a rock, Sony had a show, not a showcase, but they did have another state of play. They were very upfront that this was going to be about games from their partners across the globe. I certainly, again, why people every time think suddenly they're going to show up with 5 first-party titles out of the fucking blue, I have no idea. There's been no indication that they're going to do that. And then at that point, I think they would probably tell you it's going to be a first-party showcase. But state of plays have been this way now for years. They mix in a first-party title here and there. The rest is third-party titles. And honestly, as this generation has gone on, as everybody has been talking about, as everybody has been denying because they're kind of clowns, or accepting because we kind of are rational human beings who kind of see what the future's bringing and what the industry's going through right now. As the years have gone on, the third parties are not filled with exclusive deals anymore. We used to see console exclusive, PlayStation exclusive, right? We used to see that all coming first to PlayStation. We knew it would be a timed exclusive. That has gone and dwindled to a drip now. Sure, you get your Stellar Braids from time to time, right? Get your Black Myth Wukong situations now from time to time. Obviously, the Final Fantasy VII has now come to an end, but we had that for a while. So yeah, we still get it. Yeah, I think Sony's still going to make their deals from here, here on out. But are we seeing these state of plays become that where it's timed exclusivity or console exclusivity? That's all going by the wayside. So tuning into these shows is getting a glimpse at the future, generally speaking, on Xbox, on PC, even sometimes on Switch. And obviously that's going to become more and more with Switch too. So I tune into all these shows. I've always loved this. But now even more so, knowing that a vast majority of these are going to be multi-plat, I tune in these shows just like I'd watch any pure Xbox show, just to see what's going to be there. And I like updates on older games. I don't know why people freak out about this shit. I just don't, man. Where you been? Like this is the same kind of stuff we've been seeing for a long time. If it's not your bag and you can't get excited about this stuff, totally get it. Right? No sense in watching it. Watch the highlights afterwards, pick out the games that look interesting to you, watch them in 4K. But man, to come into a show and just completely trash the show because they did what they told you they were going to do, to me, just doesn't make any sense. But let's get into this, Mav. So the state of play happened yesterday. You did an awesome co-stream. Obviously you had a phone call in the middle there where you had to take for work or whatever else. So you kind of lost track of the things, but I have not had a chance to go back and watch in 4K. That was my plan last night, to come home and watch the showcase or the state of play back in 4K as I always do. But yeah, they dropped that Warriors Abyss game in the middle of the show, and well, that changed everything. Okay, so I know I was gaming last night.
I knew
wasn't
you'd be
watching
excited when that showed. I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
bro, Yeah, I was so happy, man. I was like, oh shit. And then, like I said, I saw the $25 price tag and I was like, oh fuck. Okay, yeah, we're in. Let's go. So anyways, they started off the show with a brand new Monster Hunter Wilds trailer. Again, simply fantastic. Releasing February 28th. This game can't look any better. Matt, I don't know if you got anything to add to this. We've seen Monster Hunter Wilds. We're both excited for it. I heard you say again that you think it's going to be one of the biggest games of the year. I said
Yeah,
that earlier.
100%.
It's definitely going to be one of the biggest games of the year. Capcom don't miss no more. They just don't. So this looked great. So cool way to start the show. New trailer, looking good. Not much to say there. Mav, I think you might have a little bit more to say on the second one than I do because of the style that it is, but cool to see. This became the Sega showcase right here, right, Mav? We had a stretch run of Sega games. I was like, Jesus, are we watching Xbox? Xbox usually has all the Sega games. Holy shit, they showed off for PlayStation. But we're going to start off with the brand new Shinobi Art of Vengeance announcement trailer.
Yes.
Mav, releasing this year as well, August 28th. Bringing back the Shinobi franchise. It is going to be a 2D side-scrolling platformer. You guys know, as much as I love Shinobi, right there, I'm out. I'm out. But graphically, everything I saw for all the Shinobi fans, for all the 2D platformers, lovers, beautiful, gorgeous art style. Mav, what did you think about Shinobi Art of Vengeance?
I thought it looked fucking great, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like these kind of games, the side scrolling, like either Metroidvania or not, like whatever,
Yeah.
This one looked like it's going back to the roots of that genre, right? But like making it super, the combat and everything just looks so good, man. I can't wait for that one. God, it just popped. The art style,
Did. Yes.
the art style, everything on it just like popped for me, man. I was like, yes, that like I love to see the variety too with big franchises. So if you're bringing something back, it doesn't necessarily always have to be like, hey, we're doing this massive open world 3D Souls like adventure hack like game. It can be, hey, we're bringing this franchise back, kind of a twist on its roots, but in a new fun way that's taken from a lot of the other games that have come since as well. So yeah, I loved what I saw from Shinobi. It looked fucking sick.
Year of the Ninja continues, Mav. Year of the Ninja continues.
A year of the ninja and also the year of resurrection.
Correct.
Generation of resurrection so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
IP coming back. Yeah.
IP and genre.
And genre. Yep, you are correct, sir. There. Yeah, I can't. I'm so happy for all the Shinobi fans because again, it did look beautiful, like you said. It popped. The special effects and everything on the screen was just so cool, man.
Yeah.
So, hats off to them. Hats off to Sega. Another Sega game, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Now we saw this last year for the first time. Am I correct in that, or was this the first time we've ever seen it?
Which one?
Oh, it says debut trailer. Debut to trailer. Okay, so this is the first time seeing Sonic Racing. I thought we had seen.
No,
this.
that was at the Game Awards. I thought
I could have swore too, but they're calling. I mean, this is Polygon, so whatever. They go in order, which is nice.
We saw that before.
I could have sworn.
It was
that's what I thought.
I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle.
This is a new trailer, though, right?
Yes, this was a new trailer.
Because see, they're saying announcement trailer. Anyways, whatever. I know we saw this. Anyway, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Sonic Racing looks good for all you kart racers out there. Again, not the biggest fan. I'll play them if they're available to me, but not the kart racing fan. But Sonic looks great. It looks like they're doing it right, Mav. Would you agree? Like this is like they're putting like Sega's going all out for this one.
Yeah, I was amazed that it's not just only on PlayStation, and I was amazed it's not a PS5 exclusive. But because in the game you go through portals and instantaneously end up in another environment.
And that can only be done on the PlayStation 5 SSD.
I was shocked. I thought somehow
we don't know. I mean, in the other versions, there could be a loading ring that pops up when it happens.
So on Series X, when I'm playing, because it doesn't have as fast of an SSD, you'll be in the middle of a race and it's going to say 1 second, please. Or it's going to go to like a cutscene and you're sliding through a small crevice.
Yeah.
of a
It's
wall.
gonna have Sonic drifting your
Yeah.
car through.
Yeah, just like a little
like
cutscene of like
Yeah, no.
don't this is not a loading screen. Yeah. No.
Good point, though, Mav. Good point.
Yeah, it was just amazing. Amazing. It seems like the whole concept of the fucking game. So
Right.
it's unbelievable. No, but for real, I love Sonic Racing.
Mhm.
So I'm glad to see it come back. It's this year just keeps fucking giving me games that I want to play. I don't know how to handle it all, Pong. I don't.
Uh, hey, you already know the position I'm in. So again, I'm not gonna have the time this year. So there's gonna be so much on my plate come next year. It's gonna be crazy. That's the closed network test is set for February 21st on Sonic Racing Crossworlds as well. But yeah, it did look cool. So I can't wait for it. Next up came Digimon Storytime Stranger. I got nothing. Shout out to Digimon. I was too old, missed it. My kid was too young.
Nintendo, get your lawyers ready.
Yeah, they're doing that again too. I don't know if you heard about the new
they're
one.
trying to get all these
Hear about
patents.
the new patent?
Yeah,
Bro, the industry has to stand up to Nintendo. I'm sorry. They allow this shit to go through. It's nuts what they're trying to pull right now in the US to get that patent to block power. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. I just can't stand it. So yeah, Digimon. So all you Digimon fans getting a new game. Again, look great, anime style, cool, awesome. Hey, expected out in 2025. No release date given for sure. It's just expected. So we'll see if it makes it. But hey, cool Digimon. Got another look at Lost Soul Aside. Mav, Lost Soul Aside. Pre-orders open on February 19th. This one is a PlayStation exclusive, right?
no. Well, I mean,
Nope.
it's going to PC.
Going to PC, PS5 console
Yeah,
exclusive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, console exclusive.
So
Okay.
not PS5
May-
exclusive, but Sony.
Yeah, May 30th of this year, coming to PlayStation 5 and PC5. Hey,
PC5?
man,
PS5 and PC5?
PC5, did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, PC5. You got to have that PC5, bro. That's that new
Love
GPU. Listen, shout out to the Souls fans. Souls fans are just eating so good right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little tired because these games look so great, and you know how much I just love the atmosphere. I love what the East is doing. I need action. I need Devil May Cry to come back. I need all the Devil May Cry clones to come back, and we're good. Like, even if I can't do what the experts do in those games, I will still play those games. But the Souls genre is now getting overdone for me. Like, I'm loving these games. This one looks great. Lost Soul Side looks fantastic. I'm excited for everybody, but man, come on.
Yeah. How much did you play of Devil May Cry 5?
Ooh, probably 10 hours, maybe.
Yeah. And for some reason, like that one, I just started it and like I just could never get into it.
I've rebought it. I think I got it on PC now too. So yeah. I love that.
It's one that I was like, I wanted to go back and play that game because like yeah.
What's her face? She is so cool. The one that drives the RV.
Yeah.
I forget her name all the time. She is fucking funny as shit and weird. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a great.
It's
game.
a cool ass game. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So Lost Soul side note on that one is interesting, right?
Go ahead.
Published by Sony.
Oh, I did hear you mention this. Yes,
it's published by Sony's single player game.
It's going to be counted as a first party title. You are absolutely correct.
Will be counted by them as a first party title.
Xbox is counting it the same way. So again, we're playing by all the same rules now. So this will be first party.
PC day and date.
PC day and date. Yep. I don't want to hear any buts. I don't. There's no buts. They're publishing.
Well, they're stuck in a pickle here, Pong, because they can either not claim it's a first party game, or they can not claim that Sony won't put their games or PC
bend the poll. They'll bend the polls.
Yeah, but this one doesn't really count, right?
Because it's not in a first party studio.
Whose decision is it?
First party because it's published, but it's not really because
as the publisher, whose decision is it to go to PC day and date?
Yeah, Sony's. Obviously
they can get away with this one.
Yep, but it is true, and it was a good statement. So again, they're testing the waters every which way, folks. They really are. So just wait till Stellar Blade sales, like Shift Up is already saying. Again, Stellar Blade got announced for PC with the Nike DLC as well, the Nike DLC, however you want to say that one, which looks looking out of this world. They're coming together on PC. Shift Up already said they expect it to sell more than it did on PlayStation. So on PC, of course. So wait until Sony sees those numbers. That's a single player game. Yes, they waited a year, but just wait. That's published by Sony still on PC. So that also is going to count as first party being published on PC. Wait till they see those numbers.
Yeah, I think remember when they announced Ghost of Yote, they announced it also for PC.
Did they straight up?
I think
it was everybody's talking point that it was probably going to be, but I don't remember them.
I think they said it.
You could look it up and see. But
I'm not sure on that.
But yeah, Lost Soul side looked great. Again, shout out to the East. East is crushing it. We're gonna have more talk about the East here in a minute. Listen, they're fantastic. If you hate the Eastern style games, I'm sorry. I absolutely love them, and I think that they're saving a big parts of what did I just do. Holy shit, I just screwed up everything. But I think that they are in a lot of ways pushing the industry forward. And I think that it's pretty dope. So shout out to the Lost Soul side. Looks great. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza got shown off in Hawaii again. Well, I should have said that right. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii got shown off again. It sounded like they showed it off in Hawaii. No, they did not. They showed off another new trailer and announced a demo. Yes, you can go get a demo. It's on Xbox. It's on Steam. It's on PlayStation. Your progress will not, will not carry over to the full game. Just so you know, it's one of those demos. But they did show off a new trailer. If it wasn't this month, Mav, I'd be so in on this game. This game looks like so much fucking fun. I can't wait. I want to play it at some point. It's fucking so dope. But the demo is live for everybody. Dave the Diver, Ichiban's Holiday. That's right, Yakuza coming into Dave the Diver for some holiday DLC. So shout out to all the Dave the Diver fans. I have yet to jump into Dave the Diver. At some point, I'm going to jump into Dave the Diver. I've been meaning to play that game, but they've done a ton of DLC, including like Godzilla and all sorts of shit. Dave the Diver's been that studio's been rocking it. So Ichiban coming in April, and that they count that as a holiday. So there we go. WWE 2K25. Mav, any thoughts on that?
They're finding a way to bring the whole like my city, my park thing from from NBA 2K to WWE.
It's monetization. Let's go.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yep. Shout out to 2K.
It's a cool idea. I mean, shit's kind of fun.
The island is what they're calling it. So this was the island.
But here's the catch. Okay, so what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna find this mode engaging and fun because you're interacting with tons of people and all this stuff, but you're not gonna be able to do shit against everybody who spends money right away and has like a level or buys the $99 version of the game that's able to use the extra currency you get to jack up your character to like a 80 something to start out with or something like that.
Correct.
And some people just spend out the money to get
the
max. Right.
It's pay to win.
So you're gonna play the game and you're gonna see all these guys walking around with all this shit, all these outfits, and they're jacked up and they have all this stuff and they kick your ass, and you're gonna be standing there. Well, how do I grind? I gotta play like 20 hours of the fucking career mode to get to this point. And have this kind of fun that everybody else is having, or do I spend the money now? Right? And that's the reality of sports games these days.
It is. This is what it is. It's a reality of 2K for sure. So whatever. But cool. I mean, again, I always look at the wrestling games and like I really want to get one and play it, like because it does look fun as fuck. But then I'm
not gonna say that it doesn't look intriguing and fun as fuck to me. Like it
does.
I'll probably end up doing it.
It does. You probably will. The next game for sure has me. The two Randys show up from Gearbox, and of course, my favorite Randy, Mr. Pitchford, who is certainly just came off the slopes as always in this video because he was crazy as always. They showed up with a new trailer for Borderlands 4, Mav, that was gameplay, and guess what, everybody? It fucking looked like Borderlands. It looked like fucking Borderlands. They ain't trying to change shit. And I'm cool with that. So shout out to Randy and Randy. I forget the other Randy's last name. But they showed up with a new trailer. And then at the end, Mav, and this is kind of interesting. they announced a release date. And that release date is September 22nd of this year. Fantastic. Fucking fantastic. I'm going to be super ultra busy, but I'm going to play some Borderlands 4 at the time. Super excited. I'm hyped for Borderlands 4. But man, why this is interesting, because if anybody doesn't remember, Gearbox was purchased by 2K. They joined 2K again after they left Embracer Group. Well, 2K, the parent company of One Rockstar. And One Rockstar has this little game called GTA 6 that's supposedly supposed to drop this fall, Mav. Do we think, Mav, that being both companies underneath 2K's umbrella, that Borderlands 4, that Randy Pitchford and his team would dare announce a release date, knowing full well that GTA 6 could stomp all over their game at any moment? Or do we think this means that internally they have circled a date on the calendar for GTA 6 and Gearbox picked September 22nd to either be well enough before it or well enough after it to be safe? I guess that's the biggest question. Now, Mike Ybarra, shout out to some people's favorite Mike Ybarra. He's got some interesting takes from time to time. Certainly doesn't let his personal feelings hide in any way, shape, or form. He came out to say today and said that this don't fucking matter, and that Rockstar and GTA is so big, and he literally said this, I'm paraphrasing, but this is literally what he was saying to people. They are so big internally that they call their own shots. Not even 2K tells Rockstar what to do with GTA. And that they don't care that Borderlands put this date out there, and that if they want to drop it on September 22nd or September 14th or whatever, they will just do it, and it won't fucking matter. They don't care. Okay? That's a dude who's been in the industry, obviously knows some people. That's his feelings on it. Matt, what's your feelings on Borderlands 4 and the release date and what that means about GTA 6? What's your thoughts?
The gameplay looked great for Borderlands 4. It looked awesome. It looked like it was bringing enough new stuff to it too to make it really look make you look forward to playing that. So yeah, good showing. The whole Randy thing was kind of whatever, but as far as the dates, I so people were mentioning this in the chat too when I was doing the stream.
Yeah.
And so the date is September 26th, right? So
22nd.
I so 22nd?
Yep.
Okay. I looked up, I think spring is like is or fall is like the 20 something to December 20 something, right?
Okay.
Is when fall is. So when Strauss Zelnick mentioned, he said it's slated GTA 6 is slated for fall. And Borderlands 4 is like right at the beginning of fall. So this to me means probably more than likely I would look at sometime late October, mid to early mid November.
Okay.
But it could go into early December as well. And but I just for their marketing purposes, that's when I would look at it. So 23rd, September 23rd, Alvin says. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah,
September 22nd, 22.
Okay. Yeah, so anywhere. I think it could be anywhere between that time. I don't think they'll do right on top of Borderlands 4. I think they would even just
Do you think this means though that they actually have a date certain?
Yeah, I think it has a date. I think that's why Borderlands went ahead with the date.
They were being safe and
Yeah,
they said
I think they were I think they know what GTA's when their targeted window is, and that's why they went ahead with the date here.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have if GTA didn't have a date.
No, and I agree with you on all accounts. I think that this date is actually before whatever date GTA 6 is circled. I don't think it's after. I think this is actually before. So I think they circled this. I think they've got a date circled for, like you said, October. October makes the most sense to me. I think they got that date circled. Like you said, if they need to delay it by a month or two, they can. But I think October makes the most sense. And I think that Gearbox and Randy and 2K said, okay, September 22nd, month, just about a month or so ahead of GTA 6 launch, we're good there. That's plenty of time for people to jump in and play Borderlands 4. So I do think this is a before date. I don't think this is an after date. I agree with you on both counts. So, but good showing. I was excited to see when Borderlands. I mean, I knew it was Borderlands when Randy's showed up. I was like, oh shit, okay, we're getting Borderlands information. Let's go. And the gameplay did look good.
Yeah.
Next up was Hazelight Studios. Again, not my type of games, but obviously Mav, you, Caitlin, 3-Bit, Psychonauts, all love Hazelight Studio games. And of course, the newest one from Mr. What's his name? Ferris?
Joseph Fares. Yeah.
Ferris. Split Fiction is the latest one, which is going to be a kind of a really cool looking, again, even though I'm not interested in playing it, but it's got some very cool aesthetics and it looks like it's trying some very brand new mechanics. Co-op game. So Split Fiction got a new story trailer during the State of Play. We didn't get a release date, I don't think, on this one yet, but it's supposed to be this time as well. But yeah, it showed off some of the more adventures, and as always, tons of different environments. Looks totally cool. Kind of looks like a choose your own adventure book come to life in some ways to me, where like you skip all over the place. 1 minute you're in fantasy, next minute you could be in sci-fi. Like it's kind of crazy like that, but still looking great for all the people who love these co-op games. And obviously Hazelight is one of the best studios out there, game of the year contender every time basically they put out a game. So
Yeah. I love It Takes Two. It's one of those games you just kind of remember, right? Had a blast playing it co-op. Hazelight's awesome studio. I'm sure whatever they make is going to be great. Split Fiction looks cool. It doesn't look as like personally as intriguing as It Takes Two did. But the
okay.
gameplay looks really fun.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
curious. I'm curious. Okay, how come? Any specific reason? Is it just
I
the
think just
atmosphere?
the way the story like it was more intriguing to me for It Takes Two.
Okay,
Like with that you had like the husband and wife dynamic, of the characters
yeah,
that got kind of like trapped in this different world and they got to work together through like their issues with each other and all these things for the betterment of their kid. And just something about just where the heart was of that story
sure.
was, and then they added the great gameplay and everything on top of it. I liked the kind of like your miniature in this world of like big things and
Yeah,
stuff. So there was just
cool.
different things with that game I think that just struck me more personally with like where the story goes. And Split Fiction looks fantastical and it looks amazing, but I don't know if the story for me would have the same impact as It Takes Two.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm pretty sure you guys will probably play it, so I can't wait to hear
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
think.
for
So,
sure.
for sure. Next up, Mav, was a new Dark Pictures game. Of course, Dark Pictures famously have an anthology of games out there, including Man of Medan is probably, I think, what everybody thinks is the best one. I haven't played them, but they've got, I think the other one's like, what, Devil in Me or something like that. Anyways, they came out with a new story narrative game that actually caught my attention when I was watching, man, and that was called Directive 8020. It's supposed to be out October 2nd of this year. Directive 8020 is a story of the brave astronauts of the Cassiopeia who embark on a deadly mission to save humanity, but their ship, of course, is infected by an alien life form that perfectly imitates its prey. Look pretty dope. Again, Dark Pictures, if you like these narrative games, I mean, again, I'm all about the sci-fi shit. So when I saw the sci-fi and the astronauts and the weird shit happening on the ship, I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't normally play these, but maybe. So look kind of cool. Directive 8020 caught my attention.
Yeah, man,
Um,
looks cool.
yeah,
But that one
yeah,
looked like out of all of those games, this one looked the most intriguing to me
right,
for some reason.
for sure. And the sci-fi
Yeah,
atmosphere
yeah.
just got cool. Um, this how this franchise survives, I have no idea. Again, I don't understand younger generations, but whatever. Five Nights at Freddy's, Secret of the Mimic. Another Five Nights at Freddy's, everybody. June 13th. Shout out to Five Nights at Freddy's. Mav's gonna buy a day and date platinum at launch.
Dope.
Midnight Walk. The Midnight Walk, described as a handcrafted dark fantasy adventure, will be released on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation VR 2. This was one of the VR 2 games on May 8th. The um, Tim Burton-esque style games I always am fascinated by, Mav, and this looks dope, bro. This looked cool for a smaller game. Just the atmosphere just draws me in instantaneously, but I thought this one looked cool. The Midnight Walk.
Yeah,
Um,
claymation style was pretty cool in that
yep.
game. I like the character models.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that shit. I love that style, man. The Tim Burton style just never gets old, man. I just love it. Nightmare Before Christmas, all that good shit.
Yeah.
Darwin's Paradox. Help Darwin the octopus escape a food factory, get back in the ocean at Darwin's Paradox, which is debuted during this event. Yeah, it is exactly what it says. Very cool style as well, Mav. Got the it's hard to say. It's almost a cartoonish anime, but in a more realistic life like style, but it's a 2D adventure, kind of like Inside or any of those games. But you're an octopus trying to escape. Looks
Yeah,
fucking
I was
dope.
actually like I was hoping
Yeah.
to see more gameplay of it. The
Yeah,
trailer was actually really short for this one.
short.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was like, that game actually looks really good. I like those 2D kind of
Yeah.
platformer kind of games that look intriguing. The mechanics they had for the octopus, where
Octopus.
you can shoot the ink to block out the light, was
Yes.
interesting. I liked that,
Yes.
like how it was kind of clinging onto things, and then also the camouflage like abilities. So it was
Yeah.
just like a very cool, interesting take on using an octopus for that genre. So I was like, actually looked really cool, man. I
Yeah.
might want to play that one.
Yeah, the trailer has some great whimsical music as
Yeah.
well, additional, which is again, music just sometimes if it's done right, it just adds to the flavor, and it totally did it. It caught my attention because I was working and whatever else and half paying attention. Obviously, so I was kind of just the Midnight Walk. Oh yeah, that looks dope. And I was working at the same time, and then all of a sudden I heard the music, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And all of a sudden I'm like, "What is this octopus doing?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, this is kind of cool." Next up was the surprise of the show. We already talked about this, but Warriors Abyss got announced, shadow dropping yesterday from Koei Tecmo and obviously Omega Force, the makers of Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, etc. Warriors of Orochi, all of those Musu games. Again, if you guys haven't checked out Warriors of Abyss, if you like isometric view style games, if you like roguelikes like Hades, if you like Dynasty Warriors and you throw all those kind of things together into a game and you think it might be cool, $25 is your cost of entry to what I played for like an hour and a half, 2 hours last night. Did like 6 runs. It's great. Go get it. It's worth it. Just do it. It's fun. I got nothing else to say about Warriors Abyss. I'm just glad they announced it and dropped it. It's so fucking dope when you get this shit. Something new, something different. Um, Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny got another look at this game. It is coming May 23rd, 4 days before my birthday this year. I am an Onimusha fan. You guys know this from back in the day. I am so happy this franchise is fucking coming back. And they had a new show off trailer. And my God, it looks great, Mav. Are you getting excited for Onimusha?
Yes.
Yes.
I am. I will say the only thing is, like, I don't know if just because of the amount of games that are coming out
I
like
understand.
this, at some point
Yes.
it's like I I don't think it hits the same way as it would have if it wasn't already like so many
Mm,
awesome fucking um
yes.
games like similar. Now, it's okay for that to happen, but I, I wish they wouldn't have waited this long.
They're just doing these updates right, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
so excited about,
Yeah,
right?
it looks
And
fantastic.
I hope they'll do Unamoshia 3 as well.
The
And I
animations were
hope
amazing.
yeah, and it just the again, we've seen such that's the other thing this Gen Mav is I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, we just keep getting remakes and remasters, etc." And I'm sick and tired of that shit. Yeah, some of the newer shit that they keep redoing. Yeah, I again, we've talked about the Sony shit that doesn't need to be that, and they did it anyways, for their reasons. But that's also what's happened this Gen Mav is a lot of companies doing really great work on old titles and bringing them up to date. We just got Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, obviously, is a masterclass in bringing a game forward. Now, some people would say, well, you should have fixed the cameras too. That's fine. It's part of the game. But I'm just saying, in general, these older games being brought up to date, not even as full remakes, but just remasters, these companies are starting to figure out how to do it right. As I've always said, Mav, respect the IP or don't do it at all. And now we've got example after example after example, especially when you got fully dedicated studios like Night Dive Studios doing remakes and remasters now for other IP, for other companies, and showing the way forward. Now you got a lot of greatness of games coming forward that weren't available, where us older generation people can go back and enjoy them if we wish, but they also introduce these games to new generations. And of course, they have a reason to bring back Onimusha to redo the older ones, because they are going to reboot the series with Onimusha Way of the Sword, which was also next on the list after they showed Onimusha 2 off. Then they brought up a new trailer for Onimusha Way of the Sword, and it's got its first trailer and a release window of 2026. The new trailer debuts the protagonist, Miyamoto Musashi, and my God, Mav, looks fucking fantastic as a brand new reboot of the IP. Holy shit. The character models are fucking ridiculous, bro. Looks so good.
Yeah, it does look really good.
I
I
can't
can't
wait.
wait.
Yeah, can't wait.
It'll be fun.
Really good showings from Onimusha. And again, I just love that series, bro. So I can't wait. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater got, well, we already knew because they had already announced that it was going to release August 28th, but got the trailer, showed up PlayStation. What can we say? Again, looks fantastic. Another example I was just talking about. If you're going to do it right. Konami seems to be doing an actual full remake, not just a remaster, but a full remake right, by keeping the IP as it was originally intended to be, as far as the story goes, as far as the characters go, but completely overhauling the entire system. But to the point where the diehard fans are going, holy shit, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. Can't wait to get my hands on this. Yeah, we'll see once it launches if there's any problems. But right now, Konami's doing, again, another masterful job promoting an older game that's getting a full remake from the ground up. Looks great.
Yeah.
Looks wonderful.
Again, like that release date being kind of double cemented on now is going to be great. Oh, so many games 2025 I want to play, bro. Oh my
It's
God.
getting wild out here, bro. It's getting wild out here. Next game, Mav. Been paying attention. The studio's been promoting this on X a lot. I've seen this game a lot. I've seen clips of this game. But this trailer really caught me. Caught a lot of people too. Caught a lot of people's attentions. Hell is Us, Mav. September 4th. The demons known as humankind. It's topping a bleak kind of dystopian world in which you're battling, but the different styles that they kind of mix in this game, and it's going to be a third person, what appears to be an action game for sure, action shooter game. But the different styles that they mixed in with how they're telling the story, Mav, looks extremely creative. And holy shit, am I interested in actually seeing this game, even though there are some obvious horror elements to this. I'm hoping I can maybe play this one, because this one's got me intrigued a lot. Hell is Us. Looking good.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it does. Liza P DLC. Everybody thought it could be Liza P2, but it actually wound up becoming Liza P Overture, and it's going to be a full-fledged DLC, which looks like it could be like a full game unto itself. Obviously, Liza P had massive success in the Souls-like genre, coming out of nowhere, retelling a very dark fantasy tale about Pinocchio. People fell in love with it. Again, happy for all the Souls genre people. And they had massive success both on Game Pass and elsewhere. It sold extremely well. They're coming out with full-fledged DLC now, and this was announced here, and it's coming later this year. I don't think we actually got a date on this one, but it is coming later this year. And looks like you're going to get a ton more Lies P. So a lot of people going to be excited about that one.
Souls fans, rejoice. This was a show for you.
Yeah, for sure. This one I do believe is a PlayStation 5 and VR only game. But Dreams of Another, this is from Pixel Junk. This looks This looks like old PS3 360 day take a chance games, and I'm all for this, Mav. This looks like this is that game, if you guys watched it, where it looks like you're a moving painting, literally a moving painting. It's a third person shooter. But instead of killing things with your guns, you are creating within the painting different things. This is dope, man. I don't care what anybody, these are the games that I just love. Whether I ever fall in love with them or not, when I see them, I go, holy shit, I want a chance to play this game at some point because my God, is it what a cool concept. I
Is
just
that the
love when
one that was
games
all like pixely?
yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're in
yeah.
a painting.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
look
yeah.
like, yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like hand painted shit and it's moving and everything's made up of paint dots
Right,
everywhere,
right, right.
right? And yeah, it looks so cool, man. So yeah, I just thought that was really dope. Everybody should go watch that trailer. I can't wait to watch that one in 4K again because I want to see what it looks like on the OLED. Uh Rumor came true, Mav, and Days Gone remastered coming. So PlayStation 5, April 25th. Can't say that I'm not. I'm gonna pick it up on PC at some point. I actually enjoyed the 12, 15 hours I played of Days Gone before I sold my PS4. Um, I thought it was a dope ass game. I like zombies, so I'm not zombied out at all. So I like those worlds. Thought the motorcycle and the upgrading and all that shit was cool. Never didn't get deep enough into it. I've seen some people really get deep into the crafting and all that kind of stuff, and what you can kind of pull off in the game. But they're bringing new horde mode to this as well. So looks great. I personally think that they should have gone with the sequel to this one, but they didn't. But I think a remastered is kind of worthy if they're going to add all this additional content, and there is a bunch of additional content they are adding. I can shrug my shoulders on this one and go, okay. If you want to, again, anybody who owns it on PS4, they said you can upgrade to this on PS5 for $10. Okay, $10 upgrade path. Okay, I'm cool with it. That's fine. Look good though.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to play it on
I
PC. I'm going to play it on PC.
I think it like on PC it already looks great. So,
Yeah. It does, and I
um,
don't think the PC is actually getting the remaster. They said the DLC is coming to PC separately, so
right.
I think they're going to just sell it and then they're going to update it through that. But yeah, PC version looks great.
You gotta hey, if you want any future content from
Got to buy it. Got to support it.
so from Ben Studios, you have to buy this. You
Have to
have
buy it.
to. It's not gonna you won't be
Shuhei told you, so
and
go
you
do it.
needed to buy the PS5 version or the PS4 version, you needed to buy the PC version.
Double dip,
Now you gotta get the remastered,
triple dip.
okay? Otherwise, you're
Exactly.
fucked. You ain't getting
Well,
anything from Ben.
you're not supporting PlayStation. Uh we did get the announcement: Stellar Blade and Goddess of Victory, Nikki DLC combined platter. Of course, it's the DLC. Goddess of Victory, Nikki, coming to Stellar Blade. More waifus, more beautiful waifus coming. More ridiculous, scantily clad women for your viewing pleasure in Stellar Blade are coming. And of course, they also had already previously announced that it's coming to PC as well. Or no, they announced it here too, but then they put it throughout the official announcement. But coming to PC June the 5th. So that pre-order on PC, watch those Steam charts, bros. Just watch those Steam charts. It's gonna be something else when this starts showing up. So Stellar Blade and Goddess of Victory, Nikki DLC. Shout out to Shift Up again. The East showing people how it's done in this day and age. Massive success. Well deserved. Not just because they chose to put beautiful women in there, but because they actually made a really good game that a lot of people enjoyed. I don't know if I'm still going to be able to play that game. Steel is on the fence of whether or not it's too soulsy for me, but God damn it, I'm giving it a go. And if anything, the photo mode is going to get used, everybody. The photo mode is going to get used. So I'll be there day one. So yeah, there we go. More Stellar Blade. I did not see this one, Mav. Do you remember this one? Blueprints. I must have been working during this one because I don't remember this one.
That was
Blueprints, a
like
genre-bending atmospheric architectural adventure where you
yeah.
explore an ever-changing manner of 45 shifting rooms.
Yeah, it's like a
What the fuck? Oh,
puzzly looking game is what it looked like to
cool.
me.
Okay.
It looked interesting.
Yeah, why not? Avowed Factor, which is actually in early access on Windows PC, is going to be released on console later this summer. Avowed Factor, Mav, you got any thoughts on Avowed Factor?
I
Looks like
don't
an Aliens old school, looks like PS2 360 kind of graphics. Kind of looks like one of those games that the
Why
kids all
do I
play.
not remember this game?
I don't know. Probably because you missed it, but it's a total PS2. Look
No.
at the graphics, PS2. It's
All
like
right.
first person shooter with aliens and
What?
something happening. And it looks like a kid's game where you get to multiplayer together. It looks like Roblox, you name it. It looks like one of those games where all the kids go, "Oh, this shit's so cool," and the rest of us go,
I
"The
think
fuck?"
maybe I just checked out during this one or
Probably,
something.
probably.
I'm scrolling down to look at it. Hold
Yeah,
on, let me
yeah.
see. What the fuck?
Aviotic Factor.
Was this was at the show?
Yeah, summer of 2025 is coming to the console because it's in early access.
Yeah, I have no recollection of seeing this at the State of Play. I have zero recollection of this game
You
whatsoever.
definitely checked
I
out. You must have
I
been talking to the chat.
yeah, I see it. No comment.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think it really needs a comment, but anyways. And then another surprise out of nowhere, Mav. The East is crush. Listen. I saw other people talking about that again. The East just can't be stopped right now. China, Korea, especially, they're just kicking ass and taking names. Listen, I got an idea before we talk about this next game, real quick. Just an idea I'm going to throw out there to all the publishers. Okay, mostly PlayStation, Xbox. You guys are hoarding all this IP that you're not going to use, that you don't have studios that are going to make it. If you have any old IP that you want to revitalize, just give it to a Chinese or a Korean studio and hire them to make the fucking game. And you're going to have a good shot at getting something fucking ridiculously cool out of it. Again, if you're not into the Eastern style games, I'm not talking to you right now. That's cool. You're not into Eastern style games. I'm just telling you, Mav, when I see a game, once again, this happens nearly almost at this point, Mav, every show, there is one new game coming from some damn studio in the East that nobody's ever heard of before that shows up that absolutely walks everything else in terms of visuals and design. And I don't know why the West is fighting against this. I don't know why they diverted at some point in history and decided they weren't going to make games that look fucking beautiful anymore. There's lots of beautiful games, don't get me wrong, folks. But I see a game like Tides of Annihilation come out of nowhere, Mav. And I'm like, excuse me? This is kind of like when we saw, to their credit, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33,
Yeah.
right? And it popped on the screen and you were like, what the fuck is this? This is like a JR, this is like an Eastern style game. Now, of course, that turned out to be a French studio, but I was, again, visually, it was so stunning. It was like, holy shit, what is this? This game right here, and again, this is one of the ones I've got marked that I absolutely have to go back and watch in 4K. I'm going to watch the whole thing back, but I absolutely have to pay attention to this. But Tides of Annihilation. Now, right away, Mav, I heard you call it out. Again, every time we see one of these games, is it a Souls-like or isn't it?
Right.
And more than likely, it is a Souls-like now. Now, this game, by many appearances, and Steele's going to tell me on Saturday that this is absolutely a Souls-like game, and I'm going to hate it, and I'm not going to be able to play
I mean, I could just buy the gameplay. It's
But
yeah.
But the studio came out, Mav, and said this game was influenced by Devil May Cry and Stellar Blade. So, is this going to be one of the in-between games? I guess we're going to have to wait to find out. But anyways, hands down, this right here was my game of the show because of how it showed, already looking fantastic. They showed multiple different environments. The acting already showed up and it sounded great. The character design was absolutely simply fantastic. Beautiful looking characters, not scantily clad. So none of that stuff taking away from anything. It just straight up beautiful looking characters. The world design looked amazing. The boss design already looked unique and cool. Again, out of nowhere, Matt. I just get shocked by this shit whenever I see it. But Tides of Annihilation was, again, had to be, there was a lot of great games here and we're coming up on some more, but this one just caught me totally off guard and I was blown away by it.
Graphics look amazing. The gameplay looks really solid and well done. I love the characters and the world and the enemies. We'll see how soulsy it is, right?
Right.
I see like a
And this is
lot
an
of
Arthurian tale as well, by the way. This is a Knights of the Round Table, another take on the
mhm.
Knights of the Round Table tale.
So
Really
we'll
dope.
we'll
Anyway,
see
yeah,
like
yeah,
and like I want to get into these games, right?
yes,
It's just that like I don't necessarily have the patience for them anymore. So if they're like there's a difficulty level like I back in the day, that's all games were hard, right? I grew up in that era of Mega Man and all that kind of shit. And the games are just brutal, right? That's
right,
how they got the replayability and stuff.
yep,
Everybody talked about how hard Ninja Gaiden was on the original Xbox and stuff, and then Ninja Gaiden on the 360. And I was like,
oh yeah,
for me,
the original Souls game.
it wasn't really that. I mean, I didn't ever think about it when I was playing it. It was more like, "Hey, this is an awesome game. Oh, I died. Let's try again." Like it was a thing. But like at some point, I got old and I got lazy, and I lost the patience for going through those like, "Hey, try it 10th time" kind of thing. You know what I mean? So Souls games have just something that I want to appreciate, but I always kind of like, I don't feel like going back to do that fight again, or I don't feel like going to do this again, or whatever, right? And I wish I was like I was back then, but I'm not. So whenever any of these games comes out, it's like, man, I want to like it because it looks fucking awesome. But will the same thing happen? And I check out just like I did Neo 2, with Elden Ring, with Demon Souls, with Dark Souls. Will I check out the same Bloodborne? Like you
Yeah,
name it, I've given it a shot
yep,
because I wanted to like it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, Sekiro, another one.
yep.
I just wonder, will this be the one? Wolong,
What I'm saying, bro.
will this be the one? I don't know. It looks great enough that I want it to be the one. We'll see.
I'm crossing my fingers because this looks absolutely gross. So I can't wait. I can't
Wu
wait.
Shang Fallen Feathers looks fucking great too, man.
Wu Chang
Like,
looks great, but I know that's definitely Souls. That is
yeah.
they
Well,
are
I think
that's
this one is
Souls.
too. I
So do
think
I,
I
and I know
think the
she was. I
devs
know. I know.
are afraid to say it
But why would they
because
be nowadays? Because everybody loves Souls genre. It's only the few of us that still don't, but
because
more
it's
than
a core thing with publishers and things to make games more appealing to the masses, and they don't want their
well,
game
then make your game. Oh, okay, well then the thing that I can hope for is that
marketing wise.
they have a again, if they start making Souls like with easy modes that play like action games, then I will start playing them, right? That's cool with me. So maybe they'll put in a mode here, or maybe they'll put in a difficulty level that actually makes it more actiony. Because I think Stellar Blade actually has one too. Then I'll play them, and I won't be afraid to admit that I'm playing it that way because I really don't care. I'm too old to fucking care what you think about me as a gamer. I just want to play the games. I want to experience the games and this atmosphere, this world that they're designing. Again, it says right in here, a shattered modern London and the mythical Avalon. So it's a mix of the two. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm an Arthurian dude. I love King Arthur. I love the whole mythological stuff around all those stories. And so many people have told different stories. This looks like another take that I want to experience. So I'm hoping to, Mav. I'm hoping to. One way or another. Um, Metal Eden, Mav. I know this one caught you too. Again, I said
Mhm.
this was going to be a nice streak of games right here. Metal Eden, fast paced, first person shooter. Yo, look super cool. The weapons, the style, like all of it looked really awesome. Metal Eden showed very well here. I thought
Yeah,
this
that
looked
game
great.
looked fucking cool, man. Like
Yeah,
I wanted to grab a controller and dive in.
right,
It looked like
right.
there's like potentially like a time element of trying to maybe like have to get through places certain
Hmm.
back quickly or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I like the graphics. I like the way the guns looked and the gameplay. Looked pretty sick.
Looked really good. Great to see a first person shooter show up at a Sony
Yes.
show, by the way.
Yeah, it
So just
is.
saying, I was on at first. I was like, what the fuck? We got a first person shooter
Yeah, it
going.
felt a
Holy
little out
shit.
of place. I was like, "Is this At first, I was like, "Is this
Right,
marathon?" The logo
right,
they showed at the beginning looked so familiar. It threw me off.
right.
They had this like the tri, symbol logo, and I was trying to remember where I thought it was must have been marathon or something. But no, I don't know where that came from, but yeah, it looks so familiar, man.
Looked really cool. Then another new game, Mav, and again, this is why I get excited about these shows. Mind's Eye comes up. Mind's Eye. This is like Metal Gear meets Cyberpunk meets iRobot.
Hmm. Yeah, I got like some Detroit Become Human vibes in there
Detroit
too.
Becomes Human. Another
Yeah.
good one. Good shout out there. They got driving sequences,
Hmm.
shooting. Looks like they got some city, like big city stuff to explore. It's got this whole freaking Kojima-like story that I still don't understand. Again, I gotta go back and watch the trailer, but just kind of listening to it, it's like, what the fuck is going on? And they got the iRobots attacking everything. Literally, that's what it looks like. The iRobots attacking. I'm like, what the fuck is this game out of nowhere? It looks cool. I'm interested. Again, do I think it's gonna be the biggest thing ever? No, probably not. It doesn't look triple A, it looks double A to me, but I love double A and it's got sci-fi. And I'm like, okay, I need to know more about Mind's Eye. I thought it looked dope.
This was one of my like highlights of the show for sure.
Good. Yeah.
Um, the it looked, I mean, graphics look great. The world just looked awesome. I love the like the kind of like dystopian cyberpunk futurist
Mhm.
kind of thing going on there. Um, some of the gameplay looked cool, but it also looked a little stiff.
Yes. Double A. That's what
Right.
yeah.
So we'll see
Yeah.
how that translates later on. I'm
Third person
okay.
though,
I'm
which is
okay with
cool.
that sometimes if the game is
Yeah.
cool enough and fun. Like it doesn't necessarily have to have like the best shooting mechanics or the best traversal or whatever, right? As long as it's like a cool, fun game with a great story and stuff as well. So, but yeah, that one looked really intriguing, man. So I'm gonna keep my eye on Mind's Eye.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I
Yes,
like it. I like it. And then we did get a first party game, Mav.
yes.
So out of the blue, right? Housemark, or as Mav likes to say, House Marquee, which I thought was hilarious. I was
Hey, I
sitting at
don't
work
know.
going, Mav, it's Housemark. Mav, stop. And then
House
the
Marquee.
dev said it. The dev said it right away. And he was like, oh, Housemark. Okay. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. I was dying. But yeah, Housemark shows up to end the show with just a introduction trailer showing you the narrative, no gameplay whatsoever, called Saros. I think it's Saros, or is it Saros? I think it's Saros. I think they go with the long A there. Um, and the devs kind of talk about a little bit that this is the next evolution after what they did with Returnal. But just the storyline. I have yet to play Returnal. I'm going to play it. I like shmups. I like shoot 'em ups. Um, Returnal looks definitely cool in my
Eternal's
idea. I want to
fun.
get it on PC and I want to play it. Yeah, and I want to play it co-op too. I know Steel wants to jump in. Mab, obviously, I think you got it, so we could play it too. I want to play Returnal at some time, but everything that I saw, I would watch people play it just because it was such a cool looking game, and I love the bosses and I love the idea that they had going. Hellsmark is a very high quality studio. It's not going to be for everybody. Their games aren't going to be for everybody. And obviously, Returnal didn't have the greatest sales numbers of all time. Um, but anything that they do, I'm going to pay attention to. So, Saros, this looks dope. Whatever this is going to be, they showed a guy on the kind of waking up on the beach, and then I just thought it looked great. And I thought, again, there's not much here, but atmosphere wise, gives me an idea what they're going for. Space, planet, kind of this orangish glow. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And when they said that it was going to be the next evolution of Returnal gameplay, well, I kind of get an idea of what we're going to be looking at, but I can't wait to see more of this coming in 2026. Supposedly, this is going to be 2026. So part of the roadmap, Mav, to end the show, people aren't going to be happy because there's no gameplay. Of course, we move those goalposts too. But supposedly, if there's not gameplay, it doesn't count. But of course, those goalposts move according to everybody that I saw. The clown show said it was great. I'm cool with it. I think it looks awesome. Glad to know Hollis Mark is coming with something new. What'd you think of just the kind of the introduction there, Mav?
It was a cool trailer. It kind of left you wondering, what is this? What is this?
Yeah,
What is this? Didn't really get much from that. I like the giant enemy with the fireball swirling things that look like
yeah.
that gave me Returnal vibes too, because there's a lot of that kind of stuff you got to avoid and stuff in Returnal. Um, so yeah, it's their next game. I'm sure it'll play awesome. And be fun. and be difficult, but in a fun way. Like I don't know. It's it's one I'll be interested in playing for sure. And love the logo. Shout out to them for the
Yes.
logo. I love the
Yep.
logo, Saros. I love the font and how they did that. I love the color scheme and the vibe of that, like that gold burning kind of energy.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
looks
looks
sick.
really. Um, all right, Mav. Let's see. 3 hours in. I'm gonna kind of wrap up here, but I did want to get some final thoughts here on the state of play. And there's a little interesting discussion here because I heard your thoughts on it, right? You said, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said as a game show, this was about an 8 to you.
Yeah, I
And
actually downgraded it
okay,
after I went back later
okay,
and watched more of the trailers
yep,
and was flipping through stuff. Yeah,
okay. What did you downgrade it to?
7.
7. Okay. So, okay, shout out to you, IGN. So you downgraded it to a 7.
Hmm.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, okay. All right. Perfect. But you said as a
exactly.
Sony show, you would say it was a 3.
Yes.
Okay. My okay. First of all, my thought on this was an 8 for me. I came out of the show super excited about a bunch of stuff. Again, like you guys know, it's black hole for me. I don't judge it against anything else. I take it for what it is. I just look at it straight from the games that I'm going to be excited for, even if they're ones that I'm not going to play. If I get excited for them because I know there are new games coming or games that we've seen before, but we get a great update on those games, whatever the case may be, my overall excitement. This is an 8 for me. This is a solid 8 for me. Because I really liked what I saw. A handful of games out of this whole thing really appealed to me, and I loved like the updates to Borderlands 4, etc. So easy A for me. But my question is, and it kind of I started off the introduction to the state of play this way is when you say for a Sony show it's a 3. Man, we've we've been out here talking about where Sony's at realistically. We've been talking about their failure in the games as a service side of things, Jim's initiative, Herman Hulst's decisions, all these things that kind of have had a severe domino effect on their first party titles that have obviously set them back years in some cases, right? Years. Why should we expect Sony to have anything more right now? Why are we still having people discuss this like, oh, they should have a showcase? What realistically are they going to show at this point? Right? We know the list, right? We have done this enough times. We can name, fair games, right? Wolverine at some point, right? We've got Death Stranding 2, right, coming this year. Ghost of Yotai supposedly this year. We can name the games, right? But realistically, what are they going to show at this point? How are they going to put together a showcase when a lot of their studios have rebooted? A lot of their studios have been shut down. A lot of their studios are regathering to start new projects, and may it just be in the beginning works. We got Naughty Dog to announce Intergalactica, right? We got Housemarque here with Saros, right? We got that. Um, Outside of updates to Fair Games, they're not going to show Wolverine because of the leaks. We know that. Insomniac's going to hold Wolverine until they're ready to show. They're not going to come out and just do a showcase just to do a showcase. So are we at the point, and again, this is not a defense at all, but realistically, Sony has nothing to show like that. They don't have enough content in my eyes to put together a showcase at this point. So the state of plays are kind of to be expected. They're filling holes, and now their state of plays are what the industry is, mostly third-party multi-plat games with the occasional exclusive thrown in there for good luck and good measure. But it's not the old Sony. This isn't the old industry. We already know, as much as the PlayStation fanboys say, but my console sales all the damn time, that doesn't mean they're operating on the level they were during the PS4 generation. You can point to the console sales. It's a success story. That's fine. They shipped 75 million. Congratulations. That means they probably sold through about 60 to 65 million consoles. Great. Fantastic. Beautiful. It's awesome. The revenue is great. But game-wise, this isn't the PS4 generation. It's certainly not the PS3 generation. At least the second half of the PS3 generation. So why are we still expecting them to show up with showcases? Why are we still expecting them to do a roadmap? They can't. They're not going to. And honestly, Mav, at this point, with the way where Xbox is going, with Nintendo doing their thing over the Switch 2, PlayStation's by themselves in the middle, and they don't have to do shit. They don't have to prove anything to anybody. They don't have to sell shit to their customers. The customers are all waiting. They got almost 75 million console sales. So they can just sit back, roll out the PC ports when they need to, continue to do remakes and updates like they're doing, and let their first party cook for the next 3 to 5 years and get their shit back together again, but they don't have to do anything. So Sony PlayStation has never been the company that forces anything. So why, Mav, even in your eyes, are you still expecting them to do something like a first party showcase at this point?
Well, there's expectation and then there's reality, right? So I don't necessarily, I think honestly, the show is about what I expected it to be. But everything you said is why, as a PlayStation show, I see it as a 3. As a PlayStation show, I see it as like, this could have been a Keighley show.
Sure.
Right? Like, and for me, I'm looking at a show put on by Sony, by PlayStation, to get me excited to want to buy into that ecosystem and that platform, right? And there was nothing that at that show that said, hey, you need to get excited to get into this ecosystem and that platform. This might as well have been Keighley's Summer Game Fest or a Gamescom show or something like that, right?
Yeah.
This was like, and I look at, okay, Xbox has a showcase, right? Plus they also have the Dev Directs. Nintendo Directs have tons of first party stuff, right? Yeah, I don't expect a lot from Sony right now because their first party pipeline is such shit. But that doesn't mean that it's not disappointing to see them in the state that they are when I see the show. Like, I see the show and it's like, well, okay, surprise me, prove me wrong, right? Show me something that's going to get me fucking excited that it makes me want to have a PlayStation again. And nope, here's fucking third-party games out the ass. We're just, we fucking given up. We don't have anything. You're going to have to wait. Yeah, here's a game that we hope is going to come out in 2026. What is it? Well, you'll have to find out later. Ghost of Yotei, last state of play, we announced for 2025. Is that here at the state of play? No, because is it giving me faith that game's actually going to hit this year? Not right now. What about Fair Games? The other game that is supposed to be 2025. Where the fuck is that? It didn't show up here. Like, this is their early year time to showcase games that are supposed to be coming for this year, and they've chose to pretty much solely focus on third-party games to tell their entire fan base this is what you can expect for PlayStation. So for me, looking for a reason to be excited to get a PlayStation again, to want to feel the need to own one, fucking care less about the need to actually buy a PlayStation after this show. And if you're a first party platform for your shows, that should be the goal.
But not when you're selling still the way they are and when they have the ace.
Right, but that's just like, hey, but they're winning, but like it's a free pass for them, so it doesn't matter. I ain't giving them a pass. I ain't giving them a pass.
No. It's not giving them a pass. It's realizing that of course Sony's going to play this game this way, right? That they're going to do this, right? That again, they don't give two shits, Mav, about what you think.
Oh,
right?
Of course they don't. Yeah, I don't expect
what I'm
them
saying
to.
is they got the ace in the hole, GTA 6. They just came out and confirmed it again that they're expecting GTA 6 to push their consoles even more. Right? Of course, they said along with our great first party lineup, which again consists of Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei, right? But again, GTA 6 is going to push it the ace. They can coast the rest of this generation, man. And that's what they're gonna fucking do
I mean,
because they screwed
can.
up. They screwed up, and it's not like anybody's giving them a pass. Well, not us, right? Because we've been out here, lambasting them for mismanagement and saying that obviously this is a huge fuck up on their part, and they're lucky that Xbox chose the route that they did, right? That's why you got 75 million console sales, so you can fall back on that. But obviously, nobody's giving them a pass around here. I'm just like, at this point in this part of the generation, from what we've seen from them, like we talked about it. I thought they were going to have a Hopes and Dreams showcase, Mav. I thought totally they're going to have a Hopes and Dreams showcase at some point. Like I've been saying that
If
forever.
they had a
like,
showcase
they
also
just got nothing
and did
Yeah.
great, and then this was
Yeah.
an extra show, hey,
Sure. No, and
You
I get
know?
that too. I don't
But,
disagree
like,
with you there. I'm
that-
just saying, but
this is what they're-
expectations like now,
this is what they're giving, and
fucking
so
do it.
I'm gonna grade it for what it is as a
Sure.
first party
Oh, no, and I
show.
don't have a problem. I don't have a
You know?
problem that you graded it. I just thought it was funny because you did separate the two and say it from those two different standpoints.
Because
But
if this
even-
was a Keeley like Gamescom thing, I'd be like, hey, there was cool games there. It's like a 7. You know what I mean? But this is a PlayStation show.
Right,
This is a
but
PlayStation show.
fans are going to grade this high, right? It's for
They-
the non.
But they
It's gonna be
didn't.
for the people who, like you, want to be sold to buy PlayStation. Again, I've pretty much come to the point where I'm out. Like I'm not expecting to be sold on PlayStation this generation. It'll be the first time I ever don't own a PlayStation, right? It'll be the first generation I never buy one. I'm pretty much locked in that that's going to be the case, that I'm just not the target audience for PlayStation anymore with the style of games that they make, right? Unless,
Yeah.
again, Intergalactic could absolutely blow me out of the water and I may go get one. It's the first game that I've been actually interested in. The fact that I'm more interested in buying a Switch 2 right now than I am a PlayStation says it all. And that's just the case. So I'm not looking for them to sell to me anymore, but I think that you're right from a standpoint. If you are somebody still looking for Sony to sell to you, then I could see that kind of judgment call for
But
each one of these shows.
even people like in general like just
Yeah.
didn't like it either. Like on Keeley's poll, 30,
Yeah, I saw that.
36%
Most people-
D,
Yeah.
28% D won out. 28% C, which is the second highest. A quarter people said B, and then 9%
Right.
said A. So you had,
And I think that's
like,
because of the third party stuff.
Yeah, you had,
understand.
like-
That's why I said at the beginning, people were, it's even from the Sony side, expecting more first party stuff here.
Yeah.
Which I thought was crazy because I was like, bro, they're not.
but it's because the ones that even were expecting this year weren't even here.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Well,
so
I know.
it's
Where's
like
Fair Games? Is Fair Games canceled or is this being rebooted? I gotta believe that Jade and her team either this has been canceled and they're starting something new, or they're rebooting that game because they realized they were not going to be able to make a compelling extraction shooter at this point in 2025 or 6. Like that, I have to believe that. But
I
yeah,
mean,
why are we not?
for anybody giving Xbox grief about putting their games on PlayStation, look at what PlayStation is actually delivering. It's all multi-plats and
Sure.
as well, and even the games that they are doing deals for will most likely be timed exclusives also.
Yeah.
So like, just look at the platforms what they're offering, and Xbox has best showcase we ever seen last year. Announces at the Game Awards another game that's coming to 2025. Has Indiana Jones in December, follows it up with a dev direct that has another game announced for this year,
Absolutely.
and another Shadow Drop that was in Game Pass day and date, plus another Game Pass day and date game coming in April, which we got, plus also more looks at some of the other games that we have for this year as well. And that's just an extra show that we get with in-depth insight. I saw people trying to compare a dev direct to this, saying, oh, Xbox had 5 games and this had 27. No, this is PlayStation's version of like a mini showcase because they don't have enough to actually have a real showcase. So they just do state of plays because they know it's more acceptable and they can kind of pass it off to have this. And we're going to sell games to the casuals here, right? Sell games to the casuals that we're going to do deals with our partners like 2K, like whoever else showed up, Sega, you know, all these different companies, and highlight their games. And we're going to sell hopefully more copies of all these games because we have shit to show you for first party here at PlayStation. There was no gameplay of any first party developed in-house studios shown at PlayStation at this showcase.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. At all. There was no gameplay of any first party studio game at this showcase. We got an announcement of one game
Well,
for
Days Gone
2026.
remastered. They did show gameplay.
Okay, well, yeah,
PS5
I
Pro.
take it back. I'm sorry. The game that released in long time ago, we got some gameplay, but just in general, like if you look at the other one that they publish is not their studio. That's going to PC Day and Date also, which a lot of people said, hey, that's never going to happen. I don't need it. If I want to play Lost Soul Aside, I don't got to get a PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like overall, what is at this show that says to me, Mav, get excited for PlayStation again. They're doing right by you as a consumer, and they are giving you all the games that you could ever ask for, and more
Sure.
that sell our brand and our identity of everything with the image we talked about earlier, how they sell their image, right? They're so good at that. But the reality is, this is the state of play we get. It doesn't match up. The image that they sell about the kinds of games that they create that are special and unique and nobody else can deliver versus what we actually get for the games that they're announcing and showcasing is not the reality, because those games we can get anywhere. And yes, if you buy a PlayStation at some point, yes, you're gonna be able to get some of the Xbox games and all that other kind of stuff too, right? Cool, right? But at least for me, I know that I have a pipeline of games to look forward to, invested in a platform and a service day and date and all these other kind of things that give me excitement and entice me to stay in in the ecosystem of Xbox. For PlayStation, I'm looking for them to get me excited again. Just like I had the fire with Nintendo last generation, Nintendo's starting to excite me again because they announced
Mhm.
hardware that I hope is going to be compelling. We'll see what else they do, right? We'll see what other games they announce, what they announce for the platform. PlayStation has lost me. I've owned every single PlayStation console ever since the very first PlayStation existed. I've been a fan. Even earlier on this channel, I tried not to hate too much on PlayStation because I wanted to be excited for PS5, but they have lost me completely. And right now, there's nothing at this state of play that said, Mav, get excited for PlayStation. No, it's get excited for Island and WW fucking E. Hooray! Yeah, we get island mode in WWE. Yes, that's great. I'll play that fucking wherever if I'm interested to play. But like, what did I see to say, yay, PlayStation's back on fucking track? They are
Nothing, because
or the games that they said were coming this year that everybody in the communities and everything saying, hey, but we still have this year, this year, this year. Where the fuck are those? Why didn't we even see a glimpse or a trailer? Like, where's
they just
fair
don't have
games?
to.
Well,
I know.
if they don't have
They don't
to,
have to. I
or
know.
should we be concerned about those?
Well,
Go,
I mean, fair games we definitely should be concerned about. I mean,
yeah,
obviously,
hundred
I think
percent.
it's fair. That's fair to be concerned about that shit.
Ghost of Yote, like not even have another little drop or hint. And
Yeah.
what happened to the Venom expansion that was supposed to be
Well, that
announced for Spider? That's
yeah, I
supposed
saw
to come
people. Yeah, I know. Poison Maniac
Spider-Man
said that in the
2.
chat, and again, we don't know if that still even exists. That they moved on and said they weren't going to do the DLC, right? So, or that whatever they were going to call that, the expansion, whatever they were going to do it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it's just funny to still expect, because this isn't the same Sony. If you're not a
I don't
Sony,
expect it. I hope for it. You know what I
yeah, you
mean?
hope for it. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you know what I'm saying. Like, if you're a PlayStation fan and you're bought into this ecosystem, then you're bought in. You're no different than the Xbox
Mhm.
fans who, during the whole time when the games weren't showing up, including us here, right, saying the games are going to come. Like, they're not sitting back. They're not painting their nails over there. These studios are making games. They're eventually going to come. 2022 sucked ass. We called them out on it. It was bullshit, right? So if you're in the Sony ecosystem and you're bought in as a PlayStation fan, you don't have to be a pony or a clown just to, I'm not going that far. But if you are just somebody who is totally invested, you're going to sit back and go, we're fine. We're doing great. No problem. I know the games are going to come. I'm happy with what I'm getting, both third party, just like we were saying in our Game Pass, right? We were talking about Game Pass was still supplying us with plenty of games to play, even when first party wasn't. They're kind of doing the same thing over there, right? They're saying, hey, it is what it is. I don't need hopes and dreams, as Alvin said. I'm good. Show me when you're ready to show me. I don't need the roadmap. We're fine. I
Yeah,
kind of
it's
get
not
it. Like, I
exciting.
just right. But I kind of get it, man. As a gamer, if you're
Yeah.
just a gamer, you're good. Like you said, there's so much third party right now. Like, fuck, none of us are short. Like, none of us. Sure, is it exciting to get first party? Absolutely it is. Do the people that are bought in the ecosystem have faith that their first party is going to come through? Absolutely, of course. So studios are going to make games. Now, a lot of the studios, again, are starting over from scratch, which I don't think everybody realizes how far that initiative, games as a service initiative, set some of these studios back. I don't think the less hardcore gamers, but still the enthusiasts, the guys that do wait for those first party, I don't think they realize that some of these studios are now 4 or 5 years out from their next game, even though it's already been 3-4 years from their last game. Like that, this is gonna hurt. But I think overall they're still happy because the third parties have filled so much of the holes, and now they're getting Xbox games too, right? So now they're getting new content and new styles of games that they haven't even seen from PlayStation or some third parties in some cases, like Forza Horizon is going to be on a whole nother level from anything that they've seen. You know, they've got more games to play than they know what to do with as well. I just think it's kind of funny going to these showcases. I get your point though, Matt. I get your point. If you're looking to be sold right now, nothing's selling you because they aren't showing shit. And I get Alvin's point. We don't need a hopes and dreams. We just want to see anything that's supposedly coming out this year from the first party. And you're absolutely, guys, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Again, why couldn't you show some Ghosts of Yotai gameplay? Like you showed us some really short clips in the initial trailer. Been some months now. Why not come back with a minute of gameplay? Like again, I've never understood that. I've always said that the devs, oh, you got to do all this time consuming stuff. You got to cut it. You got to make sure it's perfect. Come on, guys. You guys are sitting looking at this footage every single fucking day at the studio. You're telling me that when you're going through one of your review sessions that you can't clip it? Come on, man. You got to be able to find a minute of good gameplay and just show everybody, right? But anyways, they're just not doing that. And again, I believe it's just because they don't fucking have to. And they're just not, they're going to do it their way. Yeah, I don't know. Just an interesting point because I heard you make that point and I was like, okay. I mean, really? Yeah. I mean, I guess
if you were looking it was a Keeley show. If you were
looking for first party shit, hell yeah, of course it's going to be a low score, of course, because that's not what this was about.
It's just if they said, hey, you know, we're showcasing games from our third party partners, like you know what I mean, you know, or this is a showcase for indies, or you know, we had a showcase. This is an extra thing, right? You know, you know, if they done any of these things, it would be like, okay, this is what it is, and I want to judge it for what it is. But this is their thing to showcase their games. This is what they have settled on, and this is what
sound like band. I know,
and they didn't have anything to sell as far as their own games, so they sold other people's games, which is fine, right? Which is fine, but like I want them to sell me their games too. And they just don't have anything exciting that goes with their image anymore. And I just find the whole brand lacking any kind of substance right now.
Sure.
And I want I want to see substance. I want to see that old PlayStation. I do. I want that. People say they want competition. I want fucking PlayStation to show up. And if they have to buy exclusivity on something amazing, and like produce a game from a third party company to fucking make it happen, do it and make something that wouldn't have been made otherwise. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that they could do, and it's like, hey, we're selling fucking consoles, so we're just gonna sit back here and relax, and we're gonna try this game as a service initiative and see if it pans out. Oops, we done fucked up. What are we gonna do about fair games? I don't know. We better not even show it for a while. Like, what are we gonna fill in for? We gotta have something for people to look forward to this year. We gotta have some kind of a show. People keep saying we're gonna have this super secret showcase, so we gotta come up with something. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and do another state of play, slated for February. Okay, well, which of our games are ready? None. Okay, well, what are we gonna do? Hey, call 2K, call Sega, we need trailers. Call all the publishers out there. Hey, so you know these other games that we've been kind of keeping an eye on? I'm sure they have something ready. We'll put them in the show too. You know, but those are releasing everywhere else as well, so they're not really like placed. I don't care. It's all right. Just go ahead and put them in the show. We'll fill it up. Everybody's just going to accept it because it's going to be a decent showcase.
Yeah.
And we're going to hide the fact that we have fucking nothing ready for our gamers from our first party studios.
No. And they don't.
So that just means the image is fucking lack substance.
Why Corey's team hasn't teased their new game yet? That I can't answer you. Like, where's Corey Barlog's? I mean, they've been working on a game for 3 years now. Like, Come on, you guys. You got to have a tease, right?
Wolverine, like show something else.
But they're not going to show Wolverine. I guarantee because of the leaks, bro, Wolverine, we're not going to see until it's fucking coming. Like it's until it's like months away. That's my thought on it because of the leaks and because of people's reaction.
Marathon. I mean, why not Marathon?
Yeah, I mean, Marathon could be at some point because it's a smaller game right now. I mean, I don't know.
Change what it is again? Like, I mean,
I don't know.
come on.
Did you hear Hiroki? Hiroki's got his own new initiative now. Did you hear Hiroki?
No.
They're going to go for expect to see more smaller family friendly games like Astrobot.
Okay,
that's
cool.
Hiroki came out and said that. Yeah. So he's really happy with the console sales though, better than expected, he said. So they are happy with the console sales, and he said that they look at Astrobot's success and Game of the Year awards, and that they want to do more family friendly, smaller experiences like Astrobot.
Just I like if the gamers were loud about PlayStation the way they were about Xbox.
But they're happy, man. They're happy. Difference. And it's Xbox's fault if Sony goes this route, Mav, because they didn't bring competition. So Sony gets to do what they want to.
Yeah.
And they also said that was going to happen. So it's all Xbox's fault there, too.
Yeah, Antonio says it could be that these games are second half of the year. They will show them around summer. Very possible. Yeah. Very possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if they have more shows later on in the year and we see more games that are for 2025, hey, cool. You know, last year they surprised everybody later in the year with Astrobot, and Silent Hill 2 got a release date for later in the year and all that other kind of stuff. So maybe, right? But I don't know, man. It's just it's lacking its luster.
Yeah. Elvin says I like more smaller games for first party. They have a good catalog to pull from. Yeah. Again, I'm a big game fan, so even though I don't finish them,
it'd be nice if it's just a variety and you don't have.
But if they rebooted anything again, I don't understand the fear of rebooting some of their franchises. I don't understand at this point what they think they're going to fail at by rebooting a SOCOM to give themselves a shooter. I don't understand, unless, again, we've talked about this, Mav. They've trained their studios so far. They've hired devs to a certain degree that, just like Naughty Dog and Factions, they don't know how to make those games anymore. And so they don't have studios that can reboot Siphon Filter, right? They don't have studios that can reboot Twisted Metal. They don't have the studios that can actually make those types of games anymore. And I think that could be part of the problem, that they hired talent to such a degree in one direction for all their studios with the narrative over the shoulder. And again, it's easy to say, well, devs can make any types of games, but we know that's not the case. We've seen studios fail. Well, we're seeing the opposite on the Xbox side, where Playground is trying to make a different style game than they never made before, but they brought in talent that from the outside to make Fable as well, to help make Fable as well, knowing that they did have some lacking there. I think Sony just might say to themselves they can't make these games, and when they see something like they put 3 years, 4 years of effort into a new Factions game from Naughty Dog, their best studio with some of their top talent, and they believe internally that that wasn't going to be a game that was going to be successful. Now, we can on the outside disagree with that, but they obviously believed it internally that it wasn't going to be a successful game that they were willing to commit to. Then that fear might be real, that they just don't have the studios to reboot these IPs like a Killzone, that kind of stuff. Now, we've heard some pitches have been made. That's come out over the past couple of weeks from some people that pitches were made, like Resistance Fall of Man, and was turned down years and years and years ago by Sony. So that's just carried forward, Mav. So here we are. Now they're really stuck. But they can make Astrobot type games, and they obviously can make narrative, cinematic, third-person games. So they're going to redouble down on that shit. But I think they're going to start breaking up those experiences into multiple games like we saw from the Insomnia leaks, or they're going to be smaller experiences. They're not going to be the full-fledged games that we've seen from them, that they will be smaller in size. So to cost less time, resources, and dev work. So, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I hope for the best. I hope later this year we get more shows that have more games coming 2025 for PlayStation. Like I said, I want to get excited for it again at some point, but
so do I. So do I. All right, Mav. Real quick before we get everybody out of here, because I got to get going. I don't know where you're at, but I got to get going.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. We're good.
but I did promise to bring this up because Psycho did provide information. Some people might have seen there's a rumor going around that Replaced has been delayed till 2026. It supposedly came from the publishers statements. And so Hasdor and everybody reported it as they should, right? There was actual, a picture of supposedly from the publisher showing that Replace was in 2026. But Psychonauts hit us up in the DMs and said, whoa, hold your horses. The devs are stating that that is not true, that they aren't aware of that. And it actually came from their Discord. So Psychonauts was kind enough because I didn't have time at work to grab some screenshots from the actual Discord of Replaced. And actually, the founder and one of the devs are going back and forth because it was brought up in their Discord from some of the people saying, "Hey, what's going on? You guys are delayed till 2026." The founder said nobody in the studio is aware of that. One of the devs said, guys, we are not in charge of our publisher's reports, but it's not coming out in quarter 1 of this year, obviously. I'll give you an update in the end of February. Founder came back and said right after the dev blog post, and the dev said, yeah. So we will find out by the end of February when Replaced is coming, according to their own Discord and according to the people in their Discord. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick in case you guys saw that and were kind of disappointed. There's still a chance that Replaced is coming out this year, a good chance by the sounds of the dev and the founder. So
Yeah. Who
cross our
knows?
fingers. 'Cause I'm
Right
looking
now,
forward to
it's
that.
just stuff. I would
Yeah,
say more than likely, probably yes.
yeah. So, but yeah. Otherwise, Stalker 2 got a huge update today, over 1,700 improvements. Want to mention that. So if you're still had Stalker 2 on the back burner, great time to jump in. Great time to jump back in. I've still got it downloaded. I'm jump back in, but 1,700 plus improvements and fixes to all aspects of the game. That patch dropped today, massive. Love to see the work being done on Stalker 2. Speaking of competition, Math, Marvel's Rivals putting Overwatch on notice. Overwatch 2 announced a huge amount of new content coming,
Hmm.
perk system, hero specific upgrades that enhance gameplay, stadium mode coming for season 16, new third person perspective, shocking, new heroes. They announced a new hero, Freya and Aqua, competitive updates, map voting system, return of the loot boxes with updated drop rates, and much more. This is what competition does.
Yeah. I've been
Overwatch.
playing some Marvel Rivals
Yeah.
too, a little
Have
bit.
you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah? How's it feeling? Pretty damn good?
It feels good, man. It's fun. Like, I mean, I'm not like, hey, I don't understand
Yeah.
everything I'm fucking doing.
Right, right,
To
right,
be
right.
honest, right? But like, I played around a couple characters and played a couple matches and stuff. I was enjoying my time with it. I can
Yeah.
see people really why they get into it. My daughter's been super into it lately. So.
That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. Um, also on top of the Avowed stuff this week, and again, we didn't really get it. We did talk some Avowed and how excited we are, and there's lots of good stuff going on about it. And we'll obviously be touching on it next week when it launches fully. And Mav and I can dive into it. But we also did get South of Midnight previews.
Yeah.
I should mention this as well. Um, again, not high on my list because of the style of gameplay, but high on my list because I want to see the story and characters and the atmosphere. I love all that and the stop motion. I think it's dope as fuck. I'm on that side of things. But the previews this week, lots of good
Mhm.
stuff coming out. People saying that it's much more than they expected. People confirming that the stories, the myths around it, all of that stuff, the acting, the sound. I listened to ACG's preview about this, the sounds, but the music too, and how the game play actually affects the music or vice versa, whichever way you want to look at it. All of that stuff is as advertised and in most times better than what people were thinking was going to be. So it sounds like Compulsion Games has a real winner on its hands here, that this is going to be a much bigger game for them than initially maybe people thought it was going to be, but also a jump up, which is exactly what you want to see in this studio after they were acquired, and they did, get a lot of support from Phil, as Phil continuously talked about Compulsion, but really good previews from South of Midnight. Not going to be a game for everybody, obviously, but still sounds like they did a fantastic job, and a lot of people are loving what they're seeing right here. Right, Mav?
Yep. Just mostly positive. A couple people are like,
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I'm the outlier. What it
Yeah.
is, what it is,
Yeah.
right? It's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, for the most part, it seemed like some people were like, hey, this is like gonna be awesome.
Correct. Not groundbreaking. Again, people saying not groundbreaking, but really cool ideas, especially with again this if things not explored in every game, like the South and the mythology from down there and all that kind of stuff, just not explored a lot. So that brought uniqueness to it.
I don't know how many groundbreaking games we've had in a
Bro,
long
this
time.
stuff
It's
this
like
stuff
it's
is
a
so
whole
ridiculous.
yeah.
Again, it's
Like, what does groundbreaking mean these days?
nothing's groundbreaking any fucking more, bro. I mean, yeah, we get indie games that break the mold. Vampire Survivors created a whole new genre. Like that's
Yeah,
groundbreaking.
exactly.
That's
But people aren't
that's
gonna be like
yeah,
breaking. The most
right,
amazing
right,
reason to play games is Vampire Survivors.
correct.
Yeah, I agree with you. Balatro,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Balatro, another
Yeah,
one.
the
Indies,
most
indies do
innovation
that.
comes from the indie fucking scene. You know,
Correct.
like it's just so funny when these like games that are for kind of have always like these genres are always they're called it's called a genre for a reason. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
fits within
yeah,
a formula of like
yep.
of a style of game that's been around forever. And yeah, they start to look better and play better. More detail, environments are better. Different systems can be implemented here and there. They got new takes on things and stuff. But for people to like expect games to like, wow,
Right.
that is what did I just what happened? Was
Again,
that a game? Like, did I?
that's
I have
uh, it's
never in my
society
life
nowadays,
have I
man.
ever experienced anything remotely
It's
close to what I just had there. What happened? Did I just have a euphoric experience? Like what the fuck? What are the people expecting to have like some kind of like revolution or evolution with these things when they're using these words to I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It's
it doesn't make sense, but we're in that generation and we're in that societal kind of again, I've said this I said this last week too. Everything's mid. And
yeah.
I can't stand it. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. There's a lot of things I can't stand anymore as an old guy, but mid is one of the worst things to ever be created, and now everything is just mid. Everything. Mid. Mid. Supermodel. Mid. Like it's so fucking ridiculous, but that is the engagement now. Like that is the conversation now on a lot of things. And again, in journalism, like I've said plenty of times, especially in this industry, there's just a lot of
Yeah.
people who don't have the passion anymore for this. They never did, or along the way they lost it, and it's just become a job to them, and they don't find fun. Again, for most of us as gamers, pure gamers, sure, we definitely have our criticism, we definitely have our critiques and our opinions, and they can be strong at times. But for most of us, we find fucking fun in a vast majority of games, and a vast majority of games don't fall into mid for a lot of us gamers. Like a lot of us gamers out here just go, fuck, no, this is just cool as shit, man. Don't care. Not everything has to be perfect. Not everything has to hit. Nothing has to be groundbreaking. It just has to be a good fucking game and it has to be fun. And that's what most gamers still, pure at heart gamers, look for in anything. And I just think journalism has lost it in a lot of ways with this whole everything's got to be critiqued, everything's got to be some fantastical opinion that's going to catch people's eyes, like, oh, it's not groundbreaking, but it's got some positive qualities to it. It's weird. It's strange,
You know
man.
it
But
was
anyways,
mid? That State of Play. Pretty fucking
that's it was beyond. No, it was definitely
it,
got mid
it
for me.
was good. It was a good showcase. Bad PlayStation showcase. I stand behind that 100%.
Okay, and that's fine. Again, I'm not gonna look at it because I really don't care. I just look at it as a fucking gamer. Again, I've already pulled myself back and said I'm not buying a PlayStation right now, and it doesn't look like I'm buying a PlayStation this generation. So I'm not looking at them that way. I just want to know as a gamer that
Yeah.
it's cool or not. And I saw tons of shit that's cool. So, anyways, let's get everybody out of here. It has been 3 hours and nearly 45
Wow.
minutes of a lot of conversation. Some things that didn't think we were going to have big conversations on, but we did. Chat, thank you all, whether you were here for the beginning of the show, through the middle of the show, or all the way to the end of the show, 5 minutes or the entire 3+ hours. Nothing but love and respect to each and every single one of you. Lots of great conversation in there as well. Obviously, Mav and I love catching up on Thursday nights. That's why we do this. Again, for me personally, this is a major portion of my week to do the podcast, even when some days I go, oh shit, man, I got a podcast, man. I just would really like to go home and just go to bed. I still by the time I get home and I fire up the PC and I start getting ready, I start getting excited. And then as we get into the show, talking with Mav, talking with the fam, talking with Steel, whatever it is, it really is my therapy because by the end of the show, I'm fucking smiling, I'm laughing, I'm having a good time. It's made my brain take a break from real life and really think about a hobby that I enjoy. And that includes all of you too, watching your conversations, having your engagement here. So thank you all for just being a part of my therapy to keep me sane in this world, as much like video games do themselves. Appreciate all of you for being here for another episode of PM and the PM Pong and Mav and the PM on a Thursday. Mav, thank you, brother, for all that you do, man. Keeping the show running. All you do all the time, man. You do your Mavcasts, man. You're on other people's shows, and you still find the time to do all the shows you do here. You do streams, brother. You got real life. You got a real job. Fuck, it's amazing, brother. So thank you for all that you do, man. Can't tell you that enough. So love you, man. What do you got coming up this rest of this week? I got Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. Anything else?
No Ultimate tomorrow night because it's
No.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Sweet. You guys enjoy that made up fucking holiday bullshit.
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day, so we're
okay.
Hey,
Okay.
you know, I know all you guys in the chat have hot dates tomorrow night, so
I'll be playing some Warriors Abyss. Let's fucking go. Free night.
Yeah, no XUP tomorrow night, but we will be we'll be back. Maybe this weekend we'll do a stream back on Monday for FSP and then with regularly scheduled programming here on the Fun Speculation Network. What about you,
Awesome.
Console?
Perfect. That does. I actually got a little smile on my face because I'm gonna play some Warriors Abyss when I get home tomorrow night. Nice. It's gonna be beautiful, man. I love that.
Yeah, like, I don't have to do that fucking Friday night show.
No, I love that show. You know that. And when that's why I make it, even when I'm like struggling, like if I'm like I still make it to Xbox All because I love talking with the fam, whoever's there.
Yeah, so it's best when everybody's there.
It is really nice. It's better when I do that show, honestly. Yeah, no. So for me, no Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night, but obviously you guys know how to find me. So Pong everywhere, Pong Soul on X, formerly known as Twitter, Pong Soul on the Xbox and Steam and GOG and Epic and everywhere else. Follow me, I'll follow you back. And then of course, Saturday mornings, it looks like Living Split Screen's gonna be a go yet again for me and my brother from another Steel Rain, where him and I are definitely spending the time catching up. You know how we rolled there. I think last week our intros were literally like 2 hours. They literally were. Because I think I looked, it was like an hour and 50 minutes. We were just getting through our intros and what we've been playing. That's how we do it on Living Split Screen. We talk gaming, a lot of gaming up front, much like Mav and I do here. But Steel and I wind up going longer for some reason. It's fucking crazy because Steel plays a lot of games I don't play, and the dude plays a lot. So he comes with these big, huge talks about the game. It's freaking amazing. He's got the gameplay in the background. Come join me and Steel, Living Split Screen. 3+ hours, buckle up, get ready. Yeah, we usually go 4 to 5 hours every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, taking you from your morning to your afternoon to your evening, depending on where you are in the world. We'll be there for you to give you some ear entertainment. So join us. Living Split Screen. Split Screen is all one word. And then for you guys who don't know, the Shop Podcast is back. However, new day, new time. So Sunday. That's right. PTK Blam, Fuzzy Belvedere, myself, and I'm sure PTK is still going to be having a guest or two roll on through like he always did. I don't know about this show. It might just be us three, the three Musketeers getting back together and kind of catching up. But this Sunday, the Shop Podcast returns 3 p.m. Arizona time, which winds up being 4 p.m. Central Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The Shop Podcast Sunday will be back, and get ready. It's going to be fun. If you guys got a chance on Sunday, please show up and give PTK some love. One of the best hosts in the business, and it's going to continue to be that way. A nice 2-hour show. He keeps it nice and tight, but lots of great talk. So happy to have the Shop Podcast back, and that'll be ending my Sunday, my weekend perfectly as I get ready for Monday morning. So can't wait to see you all there. The Shop Podcast Sunday night, and the next week it starts all over again. Of course, got to shout out the man, Double Barrel Gaming, Boomstick the man. He was in here earlier. Shout out to Boom. He does it 5 days a week, but Tuesdays is All Good Things Green, the Xbox Factor podcast, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Be there for that. And then, of course, my week starts right here. Thursday nights, PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. next week, God willing, I'll be right here with y'all. So it's the golden age of gaming, everybody. Fuck, we got games everywhere. Get out there, play what you love what you play. Have a great Friday. Have a great start to your weekend wherever you are in the world. Love you all. And we'll talk to you all real soon. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Peace out, everyone. Good night.